that's why we do what we do. Another reason why I had no problem setting up this microphone so I can make sure I had a sound toy. What's up, guys? Happy New Year. Hope everyone had a great, safe time. We want to thank everyone that listened to us on, I think it was New Year. Was it New Year's Day or New Year's Eve? Which day was
New Year's Eve.
I think it was New Year's Eve.
I think New Year's Eve.
New Year's Day, I thought. But yeah, thank y'all for being a part of the show. We had a blast. Ladarius was there. Ron slept. And, Terry was there. Taco Meat even showed up. We had a great party. So, we want to thank everybody that was a part of it. King Richie, what's up? Appreciate you. And, well, we always said with the blink of an eye, be ready when the season comes along. We have made it to week 17. Ladarius, you there?
No, I'm saying you go week 18 is what I was saying.
Oh, week 18. Thank you. I apologize. Week 18, we are here. And I'm going to tell you guys, after last week's hoarder episode of a coach hoarding timeouts for his gains in these stock rooms here, as you see, I've never seen so many, and they're not used for anything. But want to just introduce the guys. Terry will either be with us, or if not, just know he will join us when he can. When you got work and family, you gotta do what you need to.
Well,
also, real quick reminder: this is our last Friday night preview show. We are now going to go Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays at 10 o'clock. And we're going to have a morning show, so be glued in. For my ATL Sports, we'll do one. See the Beard Gang will do a show or host a show. Me and Ladarius are going to come up with some stuff also, just because we're still doing wrestling also. And by the way, be ready Monday. This Monday, January 6th, first one on Netflix. It's supposed to be fun, so definitely be ready, because we will definitely be on. We will be full kilt. So I don't know about y'all, but did anything happen major this past Sunday? I mean, I know the Falcons played Washington. Nothing major or weird happened, did it?
Besides the timeouts?
But we weren't going to win that game, were we?
We could have. We could have won the game if Raheem Morris know how to coach.
Well, let me introduce you all to my crew. We're going to go with we're going to give Ron, and then we'll go to Ladarius. What's up, guys? Intro, and let's talk about it. How are we feeling? What's up? A little short synopsis of Week 17. The Commanders, by the way, a highly viewed game on primetime television. So that should tell you, if we get Commanders Falcons again, let's do it again on primetime. I think that'll be fun. But go ahead, Ron.
Shout out to Washington. They did what they're supposed to. They did their job. They did not mess up. They did what gave it to them on a silver platter. Raheem Morris. You gave them the game. Now, I don't know if me and C-Dub were talking about when Raheem went on the radio station. I don't know why, but he was talking about the Drake London catch or not a catch in the touchdown area. My whole thing is, why you ain't challenged, Raheem? Why you ain't challenged? Was it a catch or not? The game over now. It's over now. Why you ain't do this shit while the game was going on? That my big if on Raheem Morris. you talk a good game before the season. Then when the season come along, you look like Boo Boo the Fool.
Well, we'll talk more into that, I promise. Because I do want to go into that. Ladarius, how you doing? What was your impressions of the Sunday night game?
Hi fellas, hi chat. Look, it was a very competitive game, and like I say, things happen within the game that game changers. And so it's just a situation where we went from having control of a situation to not having control. And and like I said, kudos to the players for going. Especially we talked about that third quarter was very rough on that defense. And just all in all, listen, a bit disappointing. And like I said, we'll delve more into it. But listen, I'm not going to sit here and be negative about the 53 guys on that roster who play out there Sunday.
Yeah.
So all in all, it was a great effort. Just came up short at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm. All right. So let's talk about it. Let's do some house cleaning right now. John Brooks started us off with when it's the boys. Our season's over. What it do, boys? Our season is over. Kiki Heem Moyes has cost us the season and cost us a chance at the playoffs. And there's no way the Saints are beating the Bucks. Yeah, we'll be going inside the numbers here in a bit. Even Mike Bell called him Kiki Heem Moore's out on his BS. Yeah. Raheem pulled a on. Oh, I'm not the problem. Yeah. I will say when Tidy does another show and he said he'll send me a link, I'm gonna show up and we're gonna debate it. Because I'm sorry, I'm on the camp that Ra's got to go, and I find what Raheem was saying. I called it. I saw what I was hearing as pom pom weight. When I'm hearing, yeah, go Raheem, you tell him. And in my head, I'm going, we're going to discuss all this because I know we all have some views. All right. But I've heard about it. I've listened to the interview and it made me even hotter, if that's a term. Raheem's petty and said everyone else is the problem, but it's not him. Accountability is the word I think I put out there. Accountability. But before we go into that, let's go inside the numbers. We got Ladarius. This is kind of like our NFL preview games. We've got a lot of games. We've got playoff seeding. And yes, we're in one of them. All right. So Ladarius, I'm going to give you the floor. Give us what you got. Oh, you're on mute, brother.
Yeah. I was writing down some notes and I forgot to mute. Sorry. Well, when we look at the matchups here, well, let's talk about Carolina 4-12 going to Atlanta. Now I just want to focus on three key stats. Mm-hmm. And I want to talk about, especially over the span of the last three games, which are, the back end of the season. Mm-hmm. Now we look at the Carolina Panthers in the red zone. Now, statistically overall, they're top 15 in NFL team red zone scoring percentage based on touchdowns. So despite what the record may tell you, when they get to the red zone, they're coming away with a touchdown, and they're at 59.1% of the time, which is, like I said, that's in fact they're 11th to be more specific. And so over their last three games, you take that number, they're 71.4% red zone score percentage. So they're even better over their last three games, and they're also kind of getting to their average from last season, which was just 50%. Mm-hmm. So that's something to look out for. Now, shifting gears, let's talk about the Falcons in the red zone. Mm-hmm. And listen, we're 24th. 52.1%, just rounding it up. And listen, we've been doing great over our last three games too, 71.4%. So why are these numbers important? Because we look at Carolina's record and we go, Yeah, they're 4-12, but listen, when they get in that red zone, they're a different football team, and they just don't. They don't come away with just threes. They come away with sixes. And as both of you guys know, that makes a huge difference
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
in the grand scheme of things. So that's just one. That's one stat I thought that was very important to bring up. Now I want to talk about total deep. I want to talk about defense now because listen, Atlanta's defense. We've seen the improvement. We've seen that linear progression. You hear me say that. You hear me use that phrase a lot in terms of
Yeah.
linear progression.
Right.
So when you look at the total defense, I want to talk about a stat that people may not think is important, but I personally think is important, and that's the opponent time of possession. Essentially, are we keeping teams on the field? How long are we on the field? And in our when it comes to our opponents. So when you take a look at the numbers, which is should be coming. Hang on.
You got it.
Yeah, it's being curmudgeonous, but I can just go to here. Perfect. Season's greetings. Now, so that's all you always have. That's all you have multiple tabs open at once.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, oh, one tab doesn't want to work. Oh, the other one, yeah, we'll see. So when we look at their time of possession, so let's start with Carolina's defense. Who listen? Once again, they've given up a lot. There's no 2-3 ways about it.
Yeah.
But when we talk about defensively, and it's a different situation. It's a different beast. So when we look at the time, we're using the percentages here. So when you look at Carolina and the time of possession percentage, listen, they're 31st. That means, and the opposing offenses are on the field 54. We'll just 54.7% of the time. That's 31st. Only Jacksonville is worse in that category.
Mm-hmm.
So, but Atlanta's hovering around, 50%, at 51%. Now, where the real difference comes in is really when you look at, when you look at Carolina. I'll go to Carolina first.
Mm-hmm.
It jumps up a little bit to 58.3% over their last 3 games. So it's not to say that they've gotten better, because essentially they're a little bit worse over that stretch. And you look at Atlanta. Atlanta actually did a little bit better over their last 3 games. It dropped to 47, it's basically 48%. So why is this that important? Because when you look at both of these offenses, especially with the emergence of Michael Penix Jr., this offense has shown that, hey, we can stay on the field a little bit longer now, where we can have sustaining drives. As opposed, and like I said, it's not a knock on Kirk Cousins whatsoever, but we saw, especially after the Cowboys game, we saw that our offense was getting 3 and outs like nobody's business, and we simply weren't staying on the field to be productive enough. So this matchup could very well come down to which team has the ball last, or who holds on to it the longest.
Right.
And so there's one last stat I do want to cover.
Go ahead.
And if you don't mind, because I don't want to take up all the time, and then
You're fine. You're fine.
and then we could save the Saints. We'll do that on the later in the show, the Saints and the Bucs game. But I want to finish with this stat here, and I simply want to go to turnovers, and specifically the turnover margin per game. So basically, the turnover margin per game is basically how you're giving the ball away as opposed to you're taking it away. So when you look at, let's look at Carolina again. Carolina, they're in the negative in that case. So they're tied for 22nd in the National Football League. Now, when you look at, I'll let you guys guess where you think Atlanta is in the category of team turnover margin per game.
14.
Okay.
Let me go a little lower. I'm going to go about 19.
You said 19th?
Yeah, 19.
You're right. They're tied for 19th. with their tie with
God,
Indianapolis at minus 0. At minus 0.3.
Yeah.
So both of these teams, you look at Atlanta over their last 3 games, they're in the plus
Yeah.
at plus 1.3 over their last 3 games.
What?
So, but however, Carolina still hovering around there. And listen, for Atlanta, statistically, their turnover margin is statistically better on the road than it is at home.
What?
So, which is concerning. But to kind of put a button on it, to me, the match is going to come down to turnover, time, and tempo. Those are my 3 T's I always put out there. And listen, for people, like I say, this is a situation. It's a divisional game, and if you look at Carolina, and you just look at them overall from the matchup perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Now, over the last 5 times previous matchups that they faced one another. Now, Atlanta leads the all-time series, obviously, but over their last 5 matchups, it's been kind of Atlanta has won 3 of the last 5 matchups. So it's just luckily for Atlanta, the game's at home, because it seems Atlanta has kind of struggles with Carolina a bit on the road in the road matchups, which they lost. 2 of those matchups they lost on the road.
Right.
So, like I said, to kind of put a button on it, I just think the game's going to come down to Penix. Still, like I say, still not a lot of tape on him, and basically that Carolina defense, because it's just using the same formula. Because at the end of the day, and this is important, and like I say, I'm not going to. I mean to go this long. I apologize, but it's going to basically come down to which Atlanta Falcons team is going to show up offensively.
Okay.
Defensively, they've shown me, and the numbers have shown they've gotten better.
Yeah.
And you could see whether it's a change in the schematic or whether it's a change in play calling or anything of that nature. The defense has gotten better.
Yeah.
The offense, we're still learning. I said we're still learning. We're learning with Penix. So that's going to be the real test against Carolina. And luckily, it's in the bin. So hopefully, the offense can show up, and more importantly, holding on to the football, keep Bryce Young off the field. I thought I would never say that, but keep that Panthers offense off the field.
Yeah.
Because that's going to be a situation we've seen, like the Tampa game. I'm not saying you throw away the tape on it, because Tampa Bay, with all fully healthy Tampa Bay, is to me, you could argue the top 10 offense in the National Football League. So.
Yeah.
So those are some of the keys to look out for, and probably later in the show we'll probably talk about the Saints and Bucks matchup as well.
Yeah, because we're going to go to it real quick. Hold on, Ron. Hold your thought. Carrie, welcome to the show. We want to thank you for popping in, and you're on mute right now, so we would love to get you on. What's going on? How you doing?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Sure can.
Okay.
Hi, Carrie.
Hi, how you doing, Ladarius?
Hi,
Ron,
Carrie.
C-Dub.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
Let's get the applause going. Come
I
on.
appreciate you guys. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday, hon.
Happy Friday to you.
Thank you. No, I appreciate you dropping the link, C-Dub. I've been wanting to join the show. I can't stay for long because it's kind of loud where I'm at, but hopefully you can hear me okay. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So I won't be able to stay for long, but I definitely wanted to hop in because I am a big fan of the Beard Gang show. I really love you guys' show, all your different perspectives coming together. I feel like T. Will is like obviously my buddy, but like he's the super overly positive one. And then we also have Ladarius, he's pretty positive and he's like super knowledgeable. I mean, everybody's knowledgeable, but also Ron and C-Dub, you guys make it interesting and keep it exciting. And you're very like honest, even if it's brutally honest, which I like. I like that there's so many different perspectives of the show. So I just want to shout out you guys and thank you for having me.
Thank
No
you.
problem.
Much appreciated.
I will say this. I am a fan of the Falcons for over 20-something years now. So it's like I've been a fan. I've been in the ups and downs. As I like to make the joke, these hairs didn't turn gray by themselves. There was assistance. One called family, the other called Falcons.
You know what? That explains it. I'm gonna write that down.
Yeah.
Me too.
So, yeah,
It'll
we'll
be a
get
trivia
Barry
question
back on.
someday. He might ask, and I'm like, I don't recall.
But yeah, so my thing is this, man. When you live through it so much, and you've lived through the Falcons' ups and downs, you are getting aggravated, and it's like sometimes you gotta tell people, "Are you seeing the same thing I'm seeing?" And sometimes you just have to, be like, "Yo, hold on, let's get her back. There we go, got her back,
Thank you.
and there we go. Yep, you're on mute. Oh, all right, there you go.
Sorry, I'm on my phone, and usually when I'm on my phone, it used to let me use StreamYard through Safari, but now it's making me use the app. So I apologize about that.
Oh, you're good. You're good. You're totally fine. But yeah, I mean, but that's just the way we were. I mean, me and Ron and Ladarius, we talked about it. It's like when you're fans, you want to be positive, but sometimes you just have to look at it and go, okay, stop spitting in my face and telling me it's raining when it's really spit.
Right.
Right.
All right. So, what are your thoughts about the Falcons Carolina game?
For me, I said this on our show earlier today. For me, it is a must-win game. For the main fact of the matter is that a lot of fans say after what happened this season, they want Raheem fired. In my opinion, that's not happening. So for me, though, Raheem, unfortunately, we're unlikely to win the South. So for me, what he needs to do so that he can, go face Arthur Blank and say, well, okay, what did you do for this team this season positively, like compared to last season, what we had, what have you done? If we win against Carolina, we got the first time we have a winning record since 2017. So for me, though, we have to win that game. Never mind what the Bucks and the Aints are doing. We got to focus on ourselves. And to me, it's a complete failure if we lose and we have another losing record. Never mind missing the playoffs. Also having a losing record again, that's a failure in my opinion. So I feel we got to focus on ourselves, focus on ending the season on the best, possible way we can, and that's with a win. Even if we end up missing the playoffs or not, for me, we need to finish the season with a win. That's my big thing, and we need to get Mooney his 8 yards to get that 1,000-yard season. I know today he was listed on the injury report as didn't practice for his shoulder. I'm hoping that he can come in for literally just like one series and get his 8 yards and then get his 1,000 yards, if he's really that hurt. So that's where I'm at.
All right. Ron, I'm going to let you go in, man. What you want to say about the coming up game, and then we're going to go back to Ladarius on the next game.
I will be focused on our running game. And when you get the running game working, doing that job, you will get that defense tired. Because a lot of linebackers don't like to go left or right. They just like to go forward. Well, when you go left or right, you getting tired. So that's what I want to see. How I run the game make Bryce Young stay on the sideline. Wear out that defense. I mean, then you open up the play action, or the shotgun or whatever, but get the running game working.
No, I got you.
And our offensive line got to step up. So that's what I want to see.
Yeah. And I will say this on my part here. I want to see how we respond for the sheer fact. And Gary, I respect you saying, Rod needs to stay one more year. I get it. Look, it's like this. Gray hair, I know the Falcons. They will probably give this man another year. I get that. But now here's my C double where I draw the line. What's the expectation? But number two, not only how do the guys on offense who had to hear Raheem go, well, I thought we would move faster. the guys on the special teams who got pretty much hung to dry when they went for the kick, and they knew it was 5 yards too far for this guy's longest. And then, how do you think that defense felt watching Raheem with 30 seconds left? They had a good amount of time to drive that field. And they're watching this man just going, don't worry about calling a timeout. Wait, what? I mean, that I need to know. Is this going to be one of those? I think, either we win, cool. But I'm wondering, are those guys looking at him going, oh, you think you cocky? You only got to win more. Okay. Carolina needs to win. I wouldn't be surprised if you see the Falcons. And not only that, we're 500 at home and 500 on the road also. So it's not like we have a major home advantage, and that's the sad part. So these are things I'm wondering. These guys will they?
To piggyback off what you just said, C-Dub,
Yeah.
about the, at 500 at home,
Yeah.
I really, I was at the home opener and the place was rocking. There was a lot of hope and a lot of excitement in there. And I'm just thinking, after that loss to Washington, where the season was on the line and the way we lost, personally, I don't expect the Bends to be rocking and I don't expect it to be packed out, unfortunately. So that's kind of disappointing. But at the same time, the way you fill out your stadium is to get the win. So, I mean,
I get it.
I mean,
yeah. Look, the way I see it, the reason why I bring it up is these players are people too, so, and for them to put on that face to just, they're listening to Raheem, they're giving him that respect. But the thing is, that game was so hard to take because you lost your control for the division. And that is what, we're all hoping or going, do the Saints have a possibility to beat the Bucs? Where it should have been, all right, we won this game. Now all we have to do is take care of our business. And I think that is why I could see a lot of fans being upset. But I just wonder how those players feel, especially the guys on defense. I know they got their butts handed to them on the third quarter. Look, Jalen Daniels is going to make a lot of teams look silly. But they stopped them third, 3 and out, and gave you the ball back. And that's what makes me go. And you saw that throw from Penix to Mooney. Call a timeout. I don't care if we have the advantage. Call a timeout. You got to get those seconds are clicking. Time is money. But yeah, that's just me. But yeah. Let's see, Ladarius. Your next game that you want to cover, I believe, was the Bucs and the Saints.
Yes, yeah.
Go for it.
So once again, I'll be super quick, just a couple of quick facts and keep the show flowing. Now, I want to start with their offense. Start with the offenses here now, especially on the road and then at home. So for the Saints on the road, they averaged 328.4 yards per game on the road. That's 17th in the category in the National Football League. Now, you look at comprehensively over their last 3 games, the Saints offense has been anemic. 236.7 yards over the last 3 games. That's 31st in the National Football League. Now, you look at Tampa Bay at home, they've been as good as anybody at home. 394.9 yards per game at home. That's the 4th best mark in that category. Now, but over their last 3 games, let me tell you about Tampa. 489 yards per game. The last 3 games, that's by far the best in the National Football League. So this, and you listen, this team, when they're healthy offensively, there's not a lot of secondaries that can stop the wide receiving core. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, you see, you got a lot of guys emerging like Godwin at tight end this season. So, we thought new coordinator, they would kind of struggle. I could argue that they're playing a little bit better than what they did last season from that retrospect. Now, we're going to shift over to the defense, total defense here. And I want to talk about, we talked about yards. We'll just stick with yards. Let's talk about opposing yards per game. So when we look at both teams, let's start with Tampa Bay. Let's start with Tampa Bay this time. Tampa Bay, nothing really to write home about. They're 21st in the National Football League, 344.9 yards given up overall this season. Now you look at, and at home, they give up a slightly less at 335.4 yards. So they can give up some yards at home. So there's kind of like that susceptibility in that regard. So, but when we look at the Saints, it's simply not good. I'll love the panel. Where out of 32 NFL teams, where do you think they rank overall in opponent yards per game allowed?
32.
30.
Guess of 30. Do you have a guess, Carrie?
I'll say 31.
Oh, wow. Everyone's circling. It's like that. I feel like Bud Barker, not Drew Carey. But well, I can be Drew Carey. I wear glasses, but I'm tall like Bob. Anyway. Sorry, that's not pure to there.
I'll bid $1.
Up, sorry, you don't win the car. No, sorry, no. 30th, 379 yards. Now that number, so keep that number in your head. It's less. They give up less yards on the road. They give up 354.4 yards on the road. So when we talk about home and away, it's little things like that, because some teams, like I think I've said this before, some teams statistically play better at home and some play better on the road. And, I could use a couple of team examples, but the Saints defense statistically slightly gives up less yards away from New Orleans, and they give up 2 yards more at home. So at 398 yards. So 398 yards. So they give a little bit more in that regard. So to me, the final stat, and to me, it's kind of tough to choose. I like to choose 3 good stats, but I want to go back to the offense, and I want to talk about the scoring offense, just something simple. Not try to reinvent the wheel or anything. And I want to talk about, just simply put, points per game. It sounds, but it's like I said, the differential. Now Tampa Bay is 4th in that category, 29.7. Now you take that and you go at home, they give up. They score about the same amount of points, 28.8 points per game. But when you look at New Orleans, just 19.9 points per game. But however, they give up less. Here's the thing: they score less on the road at 17.9. So I guess the all-around takeaway is simply this. When you look at this, what's happening here, it's kind of like this. You have this Tampa team who's focused. They've been focused the last 3 games, I could argue maybe for the last month, offensively. And you're facing a Saints team who I could argue just wants the season to end, especially with the constant we were going with Alvin Kamara. So to me, it simply breaks down to what are we going to see from Baker? Will we see them run the ball a bit more with Bucky Irving? Because we didn't see a lot of Bucky, because we saw Baker Mayfield throw 5 touchdowns against Carolina. I think in this matchup, if you're Todd Bowles, I think the plan is going to be more on the defensive side, where, hey, let's make sure we're good there. We know they're not great over the last 3 games. We know they're not great. But let's make Spencer Rattler feel even more uncomfortable. Let's blitz some more. Maybe this is the game they trust the secondary a little bit more. Maybe they won't. So don't, I wouldn't be shocked if you see a lot more man given the Saints receiving core.
Right.
No disrespect, outside of Chris Olave, who's not, it kind of depreciates. Kind of like you drive a nice Corvette off the lot, it kind of depreciates. And as for the Saints, it simply boils down to this: no Marshawn Lattimore Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and then, like I mentioned, you got Kate Auden. We saw what Baker Mayfield did to Carolina's secondary. This Saints secondary, without Marshawn Lattimore, is simply not good. But if there's a glimmer of hope for the Saints, the glimmer of hope is that they have to find a way to not only get Tampa Bay off the field, but listen, make Tampa Bay, put them in third and long put them in third and long situations. So make them, basically, the pass is coming, you're prepared. If it's 3rd and 5, it could be a run. It could still be a run or a pass. But if you're talking about 3rd and 5 and more, you know what you're going to do. So for the Saints, not only get Tampa Bay off the field, but put them, because listen, over the last month, not a lot of teams have been able to get Tampa Bay off the football field. So make them go 3rd and long. Make Baker throw the ball, but and in that regard, specifically, make sure that you have the right personnel out there, because we've seen that Baker can expose the best of them out there.
Yeah.
So those are the keys for the Saints and Bucs. I'm sorry if I took too much time. Sorry about that.
You're good, brother. You're good. All right, Ron, what do you guys say about the Bucs and Saints? Besides big hole to swallow them both, but
the Saints defense, they got to show up. They got to get to Baker Mayfield. They got to surround Baker Mayfield if they want to win this game. They got to throw every blitz in the book at Baker Mayfield. They got to hit Baker. If they don't hit Baker, they don't win this game. Point blank. I mean, that, to me, that defensive line got to step up. If they don't step up, they don't win this game. Now, it looked good on paper for Tampa Bay, but we say all the time, see, everything that looked good on paper, not always good on the field. Now, the problem is the Saints, half of the team is injured, and half of it thinking about going on vacation already, or went on vacation, but they body dead, their mind somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Now, can they do it again? Can they finally beat Tampa Bay? No, that's all I got.
All right, Carrie, if you're with us still, let's hear what you guys
Yeah,
say.
I'm still here.
About the Bucs versus the Saints. What's your thoughts on this game?
I mean, listen, the Bucs are red hot right now. They've gotten hot when it matters. I think they've won 5 out of their last 6. They don't have Winfield. He's declared out, but he's been out most of, I don't know how many games he's actually missed, but he's not having his best season, that's for sure. For me, I'm going to be honest. I'm not expecting a result in our favor. Let's just put it that way. I'm not expecting the Saints to do anything. Quite frankly, I mean, they lost 57 or 54, I think it was, to 20 something, maybe 27 the first time, if I remember right. And for me, I know that was earlier on in the season, but then again, the Saints team at that time was, had Derek Carr, they had Alvin Kamara. They're going to be missing both of them. I just feel like, for me, I said this earlier on our show, I believe in miracles, but I'm never going to root for a Saints win. So I am hoping for a miracle, okay? But I'm never going to, on the record or off the record, say I'm hoping the Saints win a game. I hope they lose every game of every season, okay?
And that's the way we should be.
Right. So it's like, I want them to lose, but I do believe in miracles, and I know crazy things happen in, the NFL, so I know it's possible. And look, maybe they'll want to, after the tragedy that just happened in their city, rest in peace to those. I think it's 15 people who, innocent people who lost their lives. Rest in peace to them. It's a very sad situation, very sad thing for their city. But maybe they're going to want to play hard for their city. It's not a home game, but still, maybe they're going to want to show out for the city, get a win for them to close out the season after, what they've endured, with the tragedy. I'm not sure, but that's a possibility. So I don't know. For me, Baker's playing very well, and I know they want to get Mike Evans that 1,000-yard season. He missed 4 games, I believe, and he's I think 80-something yards away from getting that 1,000-yard season like he always does. So for me, they're going to try really hard to get him that. I agree that you need to put Baker in third and long situations, make it tough for them. I don't know. I'm not trying to sound negative, but I just don't have any faith in the New Orleans Saints to do anything. I saw somebody say that they'll probably kneel on first down just to just to purposely lose. I know they're not going to do that, but I thought that was funny because, they want us to lose, So, I don't know. That's where I'm at right now.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to do some house cleaning here in a bit, and I'll just speak on what I think, too. All right, so let's see. Here we had John Brooks, and there was a guy on the radio that was saying it's been through some much heartbreak with the Falcons, and then was like, "Oh, I don't want to hear that."
Okay.
Yeah, that bothered me too.
Wait, did you guys listen to Raheem yesterday on 92.9 The Game? I was very disappointed with his reaction, his response. Did you guys listen to that?
Me?
Not only did we listen, we're going to actually talk about it because I have some thoughts myself about that. We're going to talk about it because that was not his best look. I'm gonna say dead last. It's Football Friday, Falcon Friday. Saints don't have to prayer against beat the Bucks. I love this.
Love the confidence.
The Aints are toast. Is a Olave back card. Care is out. Car's out, and I hope they end in a double overtime tie.
Me too,
Christy. They don't want to play. The Mardi Gras decorations are already up. Rise up. All right. That was Christy Lewis. Thank you, Christy. And then my thoughts on this game is simple. If this game was in New Orleans, I thought it would be a little tougher. But since it's not, look, Baker and Mike Evans are the heart and soul of this team. And then you got Bucky Irvin running the ball the way he is. And it's like this. I'm not rooting for them to lose, honestly. It's just one of those. I'm kind of just like, just put the nail in the coffin, please. Because, don't be around this thing. And not only that, what I'm impressed tell us you're the Falcons without telling us you're the Falcons. We sweep the team. We have the best division record coming into this, 5-1. And yet we don't even control our destiny. The team that we swept controls their destiny. Make that make sense. How do you care about what fans feel or what we've been through?
No, exactly, Christy. Honestly, it was for me, that was a tone deaf response by Raheem. That's disappointing, honestly.
Okay, I'm going to call an audible, because unlike Kyle Shanahan's offense, I can do that.
Oh.
So,
how dare he insult our team? Oh, you control the button.
I got my audience.
Yeah.
My studio audience, pal.
Yeah.
I gotta find the right button though. Hold on. I gotta find that right button. Hold on. Where's that button that I have for Ron? Hold on. Okay.
Wait, so do I have a wait? Do I have a button?
Yes, you do actually. Hold on. I gotta find the one I had for you. I gotta find it. Give me a minute.
Hey.
Okay, that's awesome.
Well, there's
doing the Obafemi walk everywhere I go now.
Exactly.
How are you doing today, sir? I'm doing great.
I love it.
So thank you, Ladarius. All right, let's talk about it. Raheem, or ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't been aware of what my many nicknames for coaches are, you're about to get a nice little introduction to it. Dan Quinn was the Mighty Quinn, aka Sergeant Slogan. Thomas Dimitrov was Professor Frosttips. Well, don't worry, Terry is Mr. Know-It-All. And now we have Coach Ra. Ra ha ha Kiki Ra.
No, not
or,
Kiki.
or Radio Ra. Because that man, and then another guy told me he's more like Barack Morse, but I'm like, no, we don't do that. We don't do that. I don't play politics because then I might get in trouble. So, but yeah, Mr. Radio Ra, Mr. I love to talk. Well, after his dismal press conference, where he had to have another press conference, then he goes for a radio interview. If you haven't heard it, go to 92.9 The Game or the Audacity channel, and look up 92.9. It's the Dukes and Bell, and it's around, I want to say 3:30 something because it was right before the Georgia game.
So if you're listening on the Audacity app, because I'm out of Georgia, I'm in Florida, so I had to use the app. It's at the 1 hour and 15-minute mark if you want to fast forward to it.
Yeah, and also if you go through their show page, they actually have the digital time point. So yeah, but yeah, so an hour and 15. Say okay, good. So, and Rob Tribble was on with Mike Bell. Now, if you don't know anything about Rob Tribble, he is the man that basically needs to have a beard like mine, and he can be called C Double, because this man goes in and does not. And the thing about him is he loves his Falcons, he loves his Atlanteans, but as he says, he loves them to the point that he accepts that he's gonna get his heart broken. So this guy is not. It's like he will call you out, but he understands what's up. So let's talk about it, because this interview, and now who has heard the interview before we go around passing the ball around? Ron, did you get to hear it? I know Terry did.
I heard a little bit of it, but
okay.
The part that I heard, Raheem, you need to be quiet. You know how that's at this moment. You knew you effed up.
Yeah.
That's what I said about Raheem at that moment. You knew you effed up. You blaming the team, but not yourself. It go back to what I've been saying, accountability. Where the accountability to just tell everybody that you messed up? Where they at? That's what I've been wanting to know since our first game, regular season game. Where the accountability at, Raheem? Soon you take some, the whole team will take some. You're the leader. We're supposed to be the leader of the team or man's. You had people vouching for you, saying you ready for this. You're not ready, my boy. Not by a long shot. You're not ready. You said you look up to the Pittsburgh Steelers head coach. Well, if he were with us, he would call you out on your BS ASAP. The stuff you've been pulling for the whole season, that's not cool, Raheem. You said you studied some of the best coaches ever. Where? You should have been taking notes from them. The way you sound on the radio, it seems like you never coached a day of your life. Well, it's a team fault, but I'm just a head coach. And you a part of the team? And you said we're going to outrun the South? How? your coaching sucks. And I'm not trying to cuss because Mr. Kerry here, but you need to go back to school this off season. Football school.
By the way, Kerry, this is actually really phenomenal. Rob, it could be really cussing at this point, and he's being straight honest on that one.
Oh, I know, because I watch you guys, and that's why I said I love how you. Ron is just like he's almost made me spit out my drink before because he'll just like you're not it, my boy. Like he'll just
You're
blown
not
go in on
it.
it's like, wow. It's just like
Your coaching styles sucks, Raheem. By the way, how many timeouts you got at home with you now, Raheem?
1, 2, 3. It's about it's almost as full as my soda one. Jesus Christ.
So
what sucks for me is that like Ron, like I want Ron to succeed because my thing is, yeah, I liked him, okay? It's not that I don't even dislike him now. It's that also, even if I didn't like him, I'm just so tired of not just the quarterback carousel we've been on since Matty Ice, but the coaching. Like I want stability at the head coach. I
right,
want what the Steelers have. And
right.
that's why I'm like, I know they're gonna give him another season. So I'm kind of just I'm not even trying to call for his job at this point because like, well, it's useless. You know how it's gonna go. But I do think he has to really take a look in the mirror in this off season and realize this downfall of this season, I mean, you gotta take responsibility. And
Yeah.
you were the leader of the men. And this is, in my opinion, his. If you want to blame anybody, I feel it's, a casual will blame the quarterback play or the kicker missing field goals. But who is the one responsible for not putting that kicker on IR and he plays through this injury? And who's the
But
one responsible for not benching the quarterback sooner? When, I just feel like for me, how when Rod got the job, around the league, everybody's talking so highly of him because he's a very likable guy. The thing about it is, though, I feel like Raw is loyal to a fault. His thing is that he's just a very loyal individual when it
but
comes to the players, the coaching. So, like his coordinators, you saw Jimmy Lake was struggling. He did, I guess he didn't have a hand in it till the bye week, and that's when they got red hot. It's like
but
I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen this offseason if Jimmy Lake will still be his coordinators, but will
but
be a defensive coordinator. But my thing is just like, you got to put the team before, you got to put the logo and the Falcons above individual relationships and players. I mean, that's a tough part of a head coach is making tough decisions like that, even when you don't want to.
But Ken, this is my question. I love to eat cake and ice cream. If I eat too much, I will get sick. When he gonna get sick? When? When accountability? I gotta be accountability for my own action. If I eat too much cake and ice cream, I know I will get sick.
Basically, you're saying you're not going to blame the cake and ice cream for getting you sick.
Right.
Yes, I get it.
Right. And I know I'm finna get sick for eating too much cake and ice cream.
Man, I wish I had some cake and ice cream. All right, Ladarius. This man is Mr. Public speaker. This man knows, PC etiquette. So here we go. What's your thoughts about Raheem and basically, the last time I've heard him when he talked about, like someone asked, how do you explain it to the fans if they're feeling this way, like deja vu? And he goes, I wasn't here last year. And then here he had a guy tell him, I've been a fan for over 20 to, all my life back. And what do I tell these Falcon fans who lost faith in you? And he says, that's not my problem. And I'm just like, to me, I feel that's tone deaf. What do you think?
Yeah. Well, it's always great to follow you and Ron. Always great. Always great.
I haven't went yet. I'm letting y'all speak first because trust
Well,
me,
you know,
I'm going in.
I want you to go. No, go see that. Go.
No.
No, 'cause you're
I'm not,
always
I need to
you're
have some drinks, so that's why I say I need you to speak for me so I can do what I
I
need
don't
to.
speak for you. Well, that's kind of weird. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, no,
But
you
no,
don't speak for. Look, Ladarius, you know what I'm saying. I gotta get
do
another soda.
do I know what you're saying?
I don't have a butler. Terry hasn't
Listen,
allowed me to have one.
Yeah, me either.
We're
listen, we
still
seen the
asking
man.
for breakfast.
We seen that man's budget. It's not good. So,
Yeah, his budget's to groom his taco meat for some reason.
yeah. Listen, remember, kids. Hey, folks, if you're listening, PSA: always wear a shirt when you're on a call. Now,
Mhm.
but anyway, uh,
Oh,
my whole thing is this. I think Carrie and I are on the same page. That we both think that Raheem's going to stay. So my whole issue is this. We talked about accountability. Here's the thing. For some people, it's easier to blame others than to blame themselves. And essentially, that's what we got from Raheem. Not only was it tone deaf, I think he's not listening to what people are trying to say. Because here's the reality. Coach Raheem is likable. And listen, likability is great. But likability in some cases peak in high school. When you go out, it's great. Hey, you're liked in high school, that's great. But when you get to sometimes it's not the person who's liked the most who gets things done. It's the person that sometimes you don't like the most that gets success. I'm not saying that Raheem should go all angry and go be like, become Bill Parcells or nothing like that. What I want Raheem to do is understand the severity of the situation because I genuinely feel he does not understand the severity of how fans feel. And more specifically, he doesn't understand the accountability aspect. Like at the end of the day, you are the face of this team. When people ask you questions, that the whole laissez-faire nonsense is simply not going to fly. At the end of the day, you look at where the team was and you look at where they are now. It's a legitimate question if somebody asks you, why didn't you call a timeout? Or what didn't you do in a situation? Don't play it off like you don't care, Raheem, because there's 53 people in that locker room who do care what you say. And they're listening to what you say. And there's a lot of veteran leaders in that locker room. So what you say to the media is not only heard by the media, it's heard by those 53 players in that locker room. So imagine, I think C-Dub made this point. Imagine if the media is getting, is souring on Raheem a little. How about the locker room? Because the only way I feel in this scenario where I feel Raheem loses his job, which I don't think he will, is if he's lost the entire locker room. Because I don't know, because it's one thing you can be, listen, Raheem has done all of these things, and I do feel in my heart he's going to come back. But I'm not going to also sit here and justify the things that I've seen from him from personnel decision and from just purely from when he does press conferences. Because at the end of the day, you have to be honest. And I say, Raheem, if you're not honest with us, you're not honest with this team. And those players hear what you're saying, the Grady Jarretts of the world, the AJ Terrells of the world, the Drake Londons of the world, they're hearing what you're saying. There's veterans in that locker room are listening to what you're saying. Because remember, we saw at Arthur Smith's last game, they quit on him.
Yeah.
They absolutely quit on him. People can sit there and say, no, they quit on him.
They quit on him.
They quit on him. Yep.
Yeah. Everyone I think will agree. They quit on that man.
I think Arthur Blank was at the stadium and said, hey, Arthur Smith player, yeah, we go another direction.
Yeah.
You ain't my boy.
Right. We're not boys. We can't catch it. No, you can't come over. Go back to UPS or whatever you do. But you got to get the F out of Atlanta.
Yeah.
All right.
And I'm sorry. Go ahead. No, I'm done. No, go ahead. No.
Because
It's okay.
I was just going to do some housekeeping So go
Oh no,
ahead.
I had some no. For the sake of the show, the flow. No, I'm good.
No. Please, I'm asking. Go ahead.
And I'm telling you, it's okay.
Here we go again. Okay, let me do
No, go
the
ahead.
house cleaning real quick. All right. How do you not care about what the fans feel or what we've been through? All right. Because don't worry, I'm about to. Like I said, I've been like a firecracker with the lit fuse for a while. All right, and the Raheem has said something similar to that to the second half of the season. Yep. Yo, what up
Okay.
though, Miss B? Much love to Miss B. Check her out on her channel, by
ATL.
the way. She is so good. So, right, Ron. He has not taken any responsibility. Just a pointing little snitch. Hold on. He does the Christian. You got to remember. You got to when he walks to the room. He's doing the the Christian.
They
Pointing out
they
his
Chris
homies and
Rock.
everything. And now the ones he's pointing out, they're all looking at him going.
Mm-hmm.
And Steeler fans will be complaining about Mike Tomlin as well. Yeah, because
But
Tomlin's been around for a long time though.
but the problem with that, he grow every year. When they doing bad, he will call his players out. When they doing good, he congratulate his players. While he ain't like, oh, well, I don't give a F about this team. It's them, and not me. It's them.
He better
Y'all
not
see what I
lose.
got to work with.
I like Christie's point. He better not lose because our fans don't forget negativity.
Right.
Fans going to complain about everything. If you ain't winning the Super Bowl, 49er fans wanted Kyle Shanahan fired. So it is what it is. Exactly.
Well,
You're never
my
going to
thing.
win. Go ahead.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Kurt.
My thing about that is like you don't have to win a super. I mean, obviously everybody's goal is to win a Super Bowl, but
Yeah.
my thing is like it's not even about just winning the Super Bowl. It's just winning in general. Winning cures all, right? And
Yeah.
it's not just that the Falcons are losing right now. It's the fact of the matter is the context of it. We were 6-3 with complete control, multiple game lead in the division. That that is gone, okay? And
Yeah.
then not just that, but now you had a chance again. You got your destiny back in your hands, and then you lost the game. And it really wasn't that. It'd be one thing if we got blown out by the Commanders. They're a good football team, okay? But that game was in our hands to win. We could have won that game. It was all about the coaching and the clock management. So for me, it's not that, oh, if I don't win a Super Bowl this season. Of course I want the Falcons to win a Super Bowl, but it's the way that we lost this season, okay? It's more to it than that, you know.
Oh yeah.
Miss Kerry, don't forget about the timeouts. He took home with him now.
Yeah, don't you
Nope.
see them? They're all displayed in that beautiful room there. All right, real
Right.
quick, let me finish up on the house cleaning, but also let's welcome in the head honcho here, Mr. T. Will. He's not late; he just showed up.
Head honcho? Whoa. Head honcho? I am not answering to that man.
Okay, the head
Absolutely not.
the head
That is not
taco.
gonna happen. No.
There he is.
AKA Taco Meat.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Where
Here
he
we
doesn't
go.
stand on business. What was said by John Brooks. We got Christy Lewis laughing at all of us and loving our comments. Ron, let's not forget, stats are for losers.
Yikes.
Loser.
Yikes.
C-Dub, Reem is
Wait.
saving his timeouts for that bedroom.
Real quick, do analytics that tell you to use your timeout, is that a stat for losers? Or
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
All right. Penix actually missed Mooney on that out route and on the play. Yeah. Look. Again, when it comes to, before we pass this to Terry, because I haven't went yet and I will, but real quick, the reason I don't think we're really going on about Penix is simple as this. Penix, that was his second start, guys. So,
right.
you're just,
Right.
what he gave you, you were like, dude, we didn't expect this. We're excited about what we got. And we had the opportunity to actually be able to close it. Because I'm telling you, you win this game. Everything that we've had issues with, the defense not showing up from week 1 all the way to week 11, we would have been like, okay, you know what? They fixed it. You know
Yeah.
what? We're en route to the playoffs. You had so much ahead of you that you could have been proud to talk about. And now we're here at this point going, we're going to even show up. And that's why I'm even more mad. But like I said, I'm going to get to everyone else's comments when they show up because I promise you I will. But also, we got Terry. And you know what? I want to know what Terry's thinking. So,
Me
Terry,
too.
All right.
hold on.
All right. Well, I'll see you folks later. No. That's not the right music.
Oh, that's
It's
not? Okay.
no. I have it here, C-Dub. Don't worry, I have it.
All right.
Okay.
That's the breakdancing Terry. The
No,
breakdancing
no.
T-Will.
Listen. You start that dancing, I'm done. That's it. No. This ain't Saturday Night Fever. This is a show with up with the Falcons. All right. Let's stay on topic.
Ladies and gentlemen, wow. Well, first and foremost, good evening, everyone. Apologies for my tardiness. I hope everybody is doing well. And I assume we are talking about one Raheem Morris, and I guess we're talking about the interview yesterday, or what are we talking about? What is the
We are
topic?
talking about the Raheem motivational radio conversation with Mike Bell, Rob Tribble,
Right.
and and not just that, but past press conference where homeboy don't like it when you have to ask him to be accountable. And Terry, we've talked about it quite a few times, so here you go.
Yeah. He could have definitely handled yesterday better. And I think the question that got him, it was two questions. The first was the timeout, because I think he dropped or it may have been after where he dropped I keep trying to tell you, Mike, but you just won't listen. That was one. And then the main one when Rob Tribble asked, hey, the Falcon fans out there, look, I'm a Falcon fan for 46 years. I rock with you guys and I believe in you, Raheem, but those Falcon fans out there who have an issue with you,
Or
give
lost
them
faith.
or who have lost faith, give them a reason to believe. And I believe Rod's comments were, I don't think I'm going to do that. Or something. I don't have to. I think it was, I don't think I'm going to do that. You're living in the past. That's an issue with you. We don't do that around. He basically, I'm not going to say he attacked Rob's character, but he made the doubt in the current regime almost an issue with Rob Dibble. And I don't want to say his character, but an issue with his belief, as opposed to dealing with the real issue, which is you've made some errant calls. You've done some things that have put us in this situation. And I
got to be accountable.
Right. And I think he missed an opportunity yesterday, because if he had come with hat in hand and said, look, guys, it's been a wild and crazy season. And yeah, that decision that I made in that game really cost us. And you know what? If I had it to do all over again, I probably wouldn't have done it. But here's what I was thinking. And right or wrong, I respect you guys' opinion. But here's what I was thinking. And let me kind of take you through, what I go through in a game. Here's what I'm thinking. And I think if he would have introduced it that way, I think it would have been better received. Right.
Mm-hmm.
But there's something when Raheem is pushed, when you put pressure on him, where he has this I'm smarter than you and here's why kind of spirit that comes over, right? Or this air about him that, well, here's why, and this is what you people are, and that's how it came across. Now I don't know if that was his intent, but that's how it came across. And look, I think Raheem is a brilliant coach. I really do. I think that Raheem gets in his own way. And I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why I think he's brilliant. And I'm not saying he's not stubborn. And I'm not saying that there are not some characteristics that need to be addressed. I think he's brilliant because literally in week 11, on a break, he and Jimmy Lake sat down over a beer and was like, hey, Jimmy, man, let's work this shit out. And ever since then, the Falcons have been number one in sacks. Lest we not forget, we were league worst prior to that bye week. And we come out and we're number one in sacks. So there is talent there. The issue is with Raheem is threefold. One, you waited way too long to address certain personnel issues, a la Kirk Cousins and or Koo.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's one. You should have addressed that. Number two, you waited way too long to address certain coaching decisions. You probably should have gone to Jimmy like week 8 and said, "Hey, Jimmy, let's come over to the house. Let's grab a few beers and see what we're gonna do." Right now, the other part of that, because
Mm-hmm.
there is a reason people are not just out here being stubborn for no reason. I really think Raheem was trying to let Jimmy work his way out because a part of coaching is not just coaching the team, but it's also coaching the coaches, especially if you have first year coaches. And again, I'm not saying I agree with it. I'm giving you the thought process,
No,
right?
I got you.
But in my humble opinion, I think that was 3 weeks too long. So you
Mm-hmm.
waited too long to do two things. One was personnel.
Hey
The
man,
other
the package is by the door.
the other was make team change.
Mhm.
Then we get to last week, and of course, we have the debacle with the timeout. So that's threefold. And I think that cost us. And I think because of that, when you go to this interview, you really need to go hat in hand and say, look at guys, wow, this has been an incredible year. And you know what? Nobody saw some things coming. And yeah, there's some things I could have done differently. And that timeout was definitely one of them. It didn't end up the way we wanted it to. But let me tell you what I was thinking. And I think if he would have approached it with just a little humility, he had an opportunity to kind of form a bridge there for the fans to come back to him, for the fans to say, you know what, maybe we just judge this guy because, here's what he's thinking and I get it. And he just missed the opportunity. So those are my thoughts, guys. And hey, man, I'll open it up back to you guys.
All right, real quick, I want to go on this one. What you said, Terry, is exactly how I felt because I I will give it. I will give the general doubt. I will be like, okay, let's hear you out. All right. But when it comes off as you doing the ninja attack and I don't like trying to show off what you are, and then you go back to the same point you want to go, Rah, why did it take you 11 weeks to not try to fix this defense before? Rah, why did it take you to watch Kirk cut? Because look, we've all said, wasn't it something? Kirk Cousins struggles all the way to the Raiders game. And the way he was bragging about Kirk, and then all of a sudden, Penix is starting. We had no clue. I mean, I know you called, we need to make the move. I know a lot of people did, but we didn't really think it was going to happen. And then it did. And we've all said that had to be called from up above. So these are things like you just said. Koo. Is he injured? Was he not? Why are we still putting him out there? And then every time this man had an opportunity to just humble and just go, guys, it's overwhelming. I normally give my guys the benefit of the doubt, but yeah, I should have just benched and put in someone else. And that's my problem with Raw. There's none of that. He just becomes Raw. He becomes the tap dancer. He becomes then it's in this interview, he's trying to tell people, well, it doesn't matter about your fandom. How do you think season ticket holders feel about that comment? How do you think about, fans that spend a lot of money to go to the Bends? I mean, I'm asking.
I'm sure they didn't like it. I think what he was see.
Uh,
Here's the thing, right?
Yeah.
I don't think knowing and I don't know Raheem, but watching Raheem for as long as I have, I think what Raheem was trying to say is there's nothing we can do about past seasons. Now, I will admit, Raheem in some instances can be flat out tone deaf, right?
Mhm.
He's singing in C flat and we're in A minor, and he is tone deaf as to the pulse of the fan. And he's got to learn to do that better. I think what he was saying is we're trying to change the culture. And we can't do that looking back. But what Raheem
Right.
has to understand And what I don't think he understands is that 2016 is a gaping, sucking chest wound still for some people. For
Yeah.
some people, they won't even turn on that Super Bowl. For
Right.
some people, that stress is so bad, they've never come back to the Falcons. That is a very real thing. As a matter of fact, I'm probably going to do a show with a few people about PTSD and the Falcons and what it's like because it's a real thing. And I don't think Raheem understands that, right? I don't think
Yeah.
Raheem was trying to say, hey, Falcons, your 40 years prior doesn't matter. I don't think he was trying to say that. That is how it came off.
Oh,
I,
it did. And
I
well,
can admit that is how it came off. I don't think he,
yeah. Go ahead.
I think the problem with Raheem, so Raheem is a very articulate, very smart guy. And the problem with guys like that, it's like a quarterback with a golden arm that thinks he can throw through triple coverage. Oh my, I'm gonna throw in the five. It's five of the opposing team, but my arm is so good, I'm gonna throw into it. And sometimes he doesn't know when to just pull back and say, you know what, you're right. You're right. And I think hopefully this year will be growth for him. It will be growth. It to me, in my
Okay.
opinion, Raheem has a couple of flaws. Number one, he's loyal to a fault, right? So there comes a time, look at if the job's not getting done, the job's not getting done, you have to address that quicker. If your personnel isn't working out, you have to address that quicker. And last but not well, obviously the timeouts, but last but not least, he has got to get better with these interviews because what he's saying versus what he meant is coming off totally off. And you know what, guys? I'll shut up. Go ahead, Ron.
To me, Raheem remind me of Arthur Smith. The same thing that Arthur Smith did here, Raheem doing here. Stats is for losers. The fan base, they don't know what they talking about. Ain't that what Arthur Smith said about the fan base?
Toxic.
We toxic. Well, if you put yourself in our shoes, you wonder why we toxic. We got to the big dance 2016. We were almost there. But did we win? No. And Raheem, you was a part of it too.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the matter to the fans. We sit and tired getting these head coaches that say the same old damn thing. Are we going to do better on the field? We going to be better in the community, but you don't do nothing.
Mm-hmm. Man, that was good.
We going to send B. John Robinson, he this, he that. Okay, what about the whole team? Accountability. I've been preaching about that the whole season. Raheem, you gotta take accountability for what you said on the radio and that game against Washington. Because if you don't let you lose the locker room or almost losing the locker room, they will not trust you again because they worked their ass off that night.
Yeah,
the defense and offense.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, I want to remind people in that Sunday night game, the defense got a 3 and out.
They
Right.
did.
2 timeouts and a chance to win that game.
They sure did.
And
They-
they saw Raheem not call a timeout. I'm
But-
sorry.
But it like before that game, you were holding and on Dan Quinn and this and that. What?
Well, look at
No,
they're,
that's raw. That's raw. I'm not even going to
No.
get mad at that.
they're colleagues.
Get mad at that.
Colleagues, and I can
Yeah.
Ron.
I
That's like if I leave Beard Gang and I go somewhere else. If we see each other, I'm gonna be happy to see you. What's up, Ron?
No, I'm gonna be like, and keep on pushing.
Oh wow!
That's how I
Ron,
am.
come on. You don't
Yeah.
do your
I'm
your
sorry.
breakdance buddy like
Hey,
that.
I'm
Don't do no,
sorry.
Ron.
I'm sorry. That's how I am. If you're not with us no more, why would I? Oh, how the family doing?
Not
Dang.
out.
Ron,
We doing
Ron,
out to
Terry,
eat
he's our
tonight.
boy, man.
100%
Ron.
disagrees with you. Like that.
Yes,
That's
he
and
will.
you're
Wait
right.
a minute. Wait
But
a minute.
people are not that way.
Wait a
Ron,
minute.
so you're gonna say
But
too well, you're dead to me.
but is you not with the logo right now? Oh, I'm not finna shake your hand.
This was before the game, Ron.
I don't
Yeah.
care. You my
This is
enemy. I'm
disgusting.
trying to beat you before the game.
I understand. Look,
You my enemy.
I understand.
hold
If
on.
that's who you need to be, I get it. I understand. But that way, Ron.
I'm gonna beat
Most
down
of us are
somebody.
not that way.
Ron wants to be the villain.
I want to be the villain.
I understand.
You my enemy. We not finna laugh. We not finna smile. We not gonna even talk before the game.
Hold on. I'm gonna
understand.
go up to Terry. I'm gonna give him a hug, and then I'm gonna be like this. Watch out for Ron. He's got a shank.
I mean, that's how I am. I would be the villain.
Take my
I
hand.
would be that.
Ron is
Because
gonna
when
shake
I
my
do
hand.
my job, I mean business.
Right, but it's before the game, Ron. It's literally before
Yeah,
the game. Like, come
look,
on.
wait a minute, Terry. Don't you play poker all the time? Don't you play spades?
I'm great at spades, sir.
I'm not saying you're not. I'm not saying, but you put on your poker face, right? What?
Look it before the game. I'm gonna say, "What's up? How you doing?"
Yeah.
You made a real bad decision coming sitting down against
Okay, you will be.
that. How you doing?
Wait
But
a minute.
I'm not gonna hate the guy. I'm not
Wait
gonna
a
be
minute.
like,
But what I'm
destroy
saying, you getting ready. You not the. What's up, man? How the family? How the kids?
That doesn't
Oh yeah, let's take pictures. Let's do this.
Ron, that doesn't mean they weren't ready.
Ron,
That
Ron,
doesn't mean they weren't ready.
Ron, I'm as old school as you are, but bro, even I am like, look, you could say what's up to Dan Quinn. I think if anything, you didn't like how long they were showing how much they were just cuddling them up. But the thing is, then they showed their history together. And here's the thing, that history means something. So I can't just tell someone, no, you can't have that.
Dan Quinn coached him in college.
What I'm saying
they got a long relationship.
What I'm saying is when it comes time to battle, fight on the field, you got to get right, and it starts before the game.
For you, it starts before the game. And I respect what you're saying. You have the right to do that. It starts the game for you. If I'm playing, let's go back 30 years, and I'm playing flag football, and it's a tournament championship, and I see a guy that I've played with before. You don't think I'm gonna go over there and speak, "Hey man, how you doing?" I'm gonna kick his ass once the whistle starts, but I don't have to be antagonistic to him before the game.
I want you to show up like Debo with gold chains. Where his mic.
That's not what I said. It go back to Raheem Morris saying he looked up to the Pittsburgh Steelers head coach.
He does.
Yes or no? Okay. So the Pittsburgh head coach, you don't see him. What's up, buddy? Oh, let's take pictures.
He does.
Let's do this. Ron,
he does.
You don't see that from that head coach.
Ron.
You don't see him doing all that. He like, look,
and it's to look at Mike Tomlin pregame rituals and see. Ron. I'm not saying you're wrong, okay? Because if that's how you feel, that's how you feel. But what I'm saying is that had no impact on the game.
Oh, I just
not calling timeout had nothing to do with whether he was like, "What up, Dan? How you doing?" Guess what? The game went to OT. Well, but you are saying it. You're insinuating that because there was this love fest ahead of the game.
I said, for me, I'm that type of person. Hey, how you doing? Okay, you go your side, I go my side. Yeah. We not finna be buddy. We not going to talk none of that till I kick your ass on the field. Then, hey, how the wife, how the kids, they already got the win. My main thing, I try and get the win
Ron,
mentally.
I'll correct you. I would kick your ass on the field, sir. But that's neither
Then
here
you
nor there.
break
It's
dance.
neither here nor there, right?
Yeah,
All right,
And I
we
would
Ladarius.
already know you got
All
bad hit.
right, I love you guys.
definitely
I need
kick
to hear
your ass
from
on
Ladarius.
breakdancing.
I
I
need to hear
definitely
from
kick your
Ladarius. What do you got to say, my brother? Come on in, Ladarius. Join this party.
No, I don't want to be a part of this. No, absolutely not. First, I don't know what the hell that was. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know what that was. Like I'm sitting there going, you know what? All I'm gonna say is this: for a Friday night, will be the calmest show of the week, and it just kept, man.
We
The
took it to
people you
another
work
level.
with, I swear to God. Jesus.
You know what? I think we're all doing very good. We got Carrie in the house too.
No.
Carry in the
Everybody, no, listen. Everybody's doing great. CW doing great. Ron's doing great. Carrie doing phenomenal. And so now you ask me to speak a point
Here we go.
about what? What?
It starts.
What is your problem? What is your problem?
I don't have a problem.
No, you listen, buddy. I know Tones very well, pal. You have a problem.
You couldn't tell me I was doing great as well. You shouted out everybody on the panel with me. You couldn't tell me I was doing great.
No, because see, I had to force you to say something nice about me on the previous show, which you never. So
You're
You
going
guys are
back
so
to
funny.
previous shows.
yes, we are.
Going
Listen,
back to previous show. You're keeping
listen,
score.
Come on, this is
listen.
petty. Look.
Prince Petty can let that go. King Petty cannot.
All right, real quick, King Petty. I'm going to read these comments, but you keep going, okay? Don't.
No,
gonna
I'll be
say,
quiet. No,
well-
read the comments. No, I'll be
Can I
quiet.
please respond to the comment?
Oh yeah, go
Somebody
ahead,
should
please.
ask
'Cause
me.
what
It
was
says,
it? We got
"Girl."
the Super Bowl one,
Okay.
but go ahead, Carrie.
So I don't want my comment that I made go misunderstood. Of
Yeah, go ahead.
course, the Super Bowl is always the goal. Okay, of course I want to win a Super Bowl. We've never won a Super Bowl. That was not the point I was trying to make. Yes, like fans are, a lot of fans are fair weather. I'm not one of them. A lot of fans, oh, we're losing. I want the coach fired. I've never said fire Raheem. Okay, and if you feel that way, that's fine. But my thing is that as Falcons fans, it was the fact that you had the division in your hands with a multi-game lead, 6-3. My expectation, obviously, yes, I want to win the Super Bowl, but this season it was a first year with a new head coach, new OC, new DC.
Right.
I was not expecting a new quarterback, for that matter. I was not expecting to win a Super Bowl. Yes, I want to win it, but realistically, like, come on. My thing was like win the division, okay? We have not won, like, Super Bowl for me is that's a stepping stone, okay? This is
Right.
new everything, new coaching, new quarterback, new all these things. So for me, I just want to start out winning the division. We have not won the division since that Super Bowl run in 2016. We have not had a winning record since 2017. That is how many years? 7 years now? I mean, technically 2025, that's 8 years ago. So for me, I always want to win the Super Bowl, of course. And I support the Falcons. I love the Falcons. But I'm just my point I was trying to make was that I'm not going to sit here and say, yeah, the head coach should be fired because we're not going to Super Bowl. To me, that's unrealistic. Okay. And I mean, maybe some people feel that way. Your team didn't go to Super Bowl, fire the coach. That's just unrealistic. You got to have stability at the head coach position. So that's all I got to say. I don't want my comments I made earlier to go misunderstood.
Oh, no. I get it. And that's why I don't think, it's not like we were going to look at you and go, oh my God, I can't believe she said that. No, you fine. Now, what I will say is this. It's like everyone thinks I want the coach fired. I am actually asking a simple question. What was the expectations? Because I remembered hearing Raheem talk about run to South. I've heard Raheem talk about if we had a different quarterback, he even wouldn't be here. So, when you hear that and you get Kirk Cousins, an elite processor is what he kept calling it. Okay, so that's saying playoffs. So was that the mandate? Because if you're telling me we win 8 games, 9 games, but no playoffs, in my view, with this roster, And then not only that, what are we doing with Terry Fontenot? If Terry's staying, then I'm like, cool, we'll run it back. Do I have confidence that these guys will figure it out? I'm going to be really blunt. No, but I get it. It would be the second year. You would give them that chance. But, Raheem has a record, and it ain't favorable. He's, he has a losing record for a reason. And now my question is, when we come to all this discussion, the question is going to be, who is the fall guy? Remember the game I kept telling y'all that I was worried about the most? That Saints game where they fired the coach, and I said they're showing up like it's their Super Bowl. I said, we've got to show up like it's a playoff game. And remember Raheem's comments before? It doesn't matter. We got this. Or it doesn't matter. Well, it's just a game. Where when it was the game at the Benz, it was important because the rivalry means something to each team. Well, which one is it? So I always look at that Saints game as the biggest turning point of our season because we did not give the proper respect and we were not ready. That game, we got beat up. And Kurt wasn't the same either. So I do want to bring that up. Also, let's see. So thanks, Ken Simmons, for that. Also, because I really highlighted that. He's feeling the heat for not making the playoffs. Terry called him like, dang, bro, I may get canned. Yeah? Let's see. Okay. No. T-Will was saying he doesn't care. They were saying he doesn't. Yeah. That's kind of what it's coming from. The bearded one, top of the list ending guys were in there, fellas. There's still a fit. I'm with you. There is a chance, but we all are being honest. We're not banking on the Buccaneers.
Right.
Or like this. Are you telling us to cheer for the Saints? We can't do that. That's just something we can't do. If it happens, it happens. But we just can't. There will not be a day. Even if it no. Warrior man, I didn't see Miss Carrie in here. Good evening. My apologies. Okay. And then I don't care if someone says Raheem conformed to the system. He made all the coaches a mistake. Here's the thing about this, and I love this. We are having a blast here, by the way. Thank you all so much. Okay. Don't worry about it. All right. Here's the thing. All right. Gotcha. All right. So here's my question because I think 5 is perfect. So what do we think about Terry? Because if Ross safe, is Terry safe? I'm going to go around the horn and we'll start with Ladarius.
Yeah, I'm good. You can pass it around. Okay.
Ladarius.
C double.
Ladarius.
C double. We can do this all night.
I know what it was. Hold on. All right. Ladarius.
Ladarius is not moved by his theme song. I love it. I love that theme song.
Dude, I got you a theme song.
I know, but I admit it. I didn't finish the other point. Just
well, finish your point. I had to do the.
I don't want to make World War III. Just pass it along.
No, I'm not making World War III. I had to go.
Just go to somebody else. That's all I'm asking.
Okay. You know what? I love you. We're brothers.
I love you too.
We got this. Carrie,
okay.
What say you?
We're talking about Terry Fontenot.
Yeah.
I really can't put this season on Terry Fontenot.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way you could have foreseen Kirk doing whatever the hell. I mean, you couldn't have foreseen that, right? He gave you the tools, and here's my reason why. So week 11, right? You trade for Judon, you sign Simmons. We have this bend don't break, whatever this is, up until week 11. And then we go into the lab and presto, we come out and we've been the best rushing team since, well, we're the best in the NFL. I'll say that again. We're the best in the NFL. So on one of our shows, guys, it was fact or fiction. The Falcons will get 35 sacks. We're at 31. Everybody on that show was like fiction. We're now at 31 sacks. Ron.
Oh, you're pretty good.
No, I am not having another World War III.
So look it. I mean, that's not Terry's fault. If anything, that's not. You should have pivoted to that quicker. So if you don't fire Raheem, can you really not sign Terry? Like it's not his fault, right? So I don't have an issue with keeping both of them. Now, what needs to happen is we might need to talk about who your defensive coordinator is going to be. We might need to have that conversation. And look, it looks like they got it worked out. And honestly, what I think happened is right. And this, look, I wasn't there. So let me preface this by saying I wasn't there. I wasn't there for it. Okay. But what it feels like happened, as we have seen, we've seen stories come out that Raheem has become more involved, in air quotes. What it looks like happened is Raheem gave Jimmy a script and said, look, man, if this, do this, if this, do this, if this, do this, if this, break glass, if this, call me. And it's working because their approach is totally different. So for me, what are we doing at defensive coordinator? If you trust Jimmy, he's got a short leash next year. That's what it's about for me. But if you don't fire Raheem, I don't think you can fire Terry Fontenot because Terry put the tools there, right? You took a swing for a quarterback. There's no way you could have known Kirk Cousins would have got hurt. There's no way you could have known Kirk Cousins would perform that badly. That's number one. Thank God you did draft Penix because you could pivot to him and he looks like the future. And thank God you did. And by the way, if you don't sign Kirk Cousins, you probably don't get to draft Penix because a lot of people didn't trade up to get Penix because they just knew, well, the Falcons have signed Cousins. They're not going to do the unthinkable and draft him, and they did. So if you don't fire Raheem, I don't think that you can fire Terry. Those are my thoughts.
All right. Anybody want to speak? Because I'm gonna open it to Ron. Go ahead, Ron.
My thoughts is about Terry. He did his job. He brought in the players that Raheem requested for. Now, to me, he got the hit on the draft. We draft offensive players. Terry, draft defensive player, but he had not hit on that. Like, we cannot say, oh, that dude legit. He had not hit on that. No defensive players. So to me, I would keep Terry for another year just to see his mindset the off season, what he thinking about doing in the draft and free agent, and bring in free agents in the NFL. See, can he get that right? Pass rushers, corners, safeties, offensive linemen. I want to see what he's going to do about that. Now, if he hit on pass rushers in the draft, then keep him. But if he don't hit on that in free agent and the draft, then get by deuces. Go back to New Orleans. That's where my mindset is at. Terry.
Ron, let me ask you this question, right? Arnold Ebiketie, who has not. This is what kind of keeps me up at night. Arnold Ebiketie, the last 5 weeks, has been a ball. We have been looking for this from Arnold Ebiketie for the better part of 2 or 3 years, right?
Right.
Obviously, there was a change in scheme. So, are we now saying that Raheem unlocked Ebiketie? Because the previous regime couldn't do it.
You could,
And who drafted Ebiketie? So what I'm saying is it the scheme? Was it the scheme prior to Raheem? Because we didn't get this production out of Ebiketie.
right,
We didn't get this production out of Malone.
right,
Right? We definitely didn't get this.
right.
Hang on. We didn't get this production out of Judon prior to that little meeting they had. Right? We're because Judon has, I think he and I could be wrong, but I think they have the same amount of sacks, right?
Yeah, right.
Hayden Ellis is coming on, so maybe it wasn't the players, maybe it was the scheme.
It
Maybe it was a scheme.
Right. It could be both.
No, it can't be both because Ebiketie is wrecking it. It can't be both. It can't be. Right? No.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all. So again, Terry's looking pretty good in my eyes because the guys that he got are performing now. You know who doesn't look so great? Raheem, because he let this nonsense with Jimmy go on probably about 3 weeks longer than he should. Now, you want to say that, I can get behind that. But even in doing that, the Falcons have been the best pass rushing team for the past 5 weeks. Guys, if we take that in the next year, we could be talking about 60 sacks.
There's one problem. There's one problem with that.
Okay.
Jimmy Lake and Raheem would be around. Because here's what I'm going to say. So these 5 weeks, we've been dominant. What happened to the 11? And that's my problem.
I said that. I said he waited too long.
And this is, but what I'm saying is this. We've already seen how Ra is about accountability. Is he the same way with Jimmy? Like, he's not going to let Jimmy take. All I'm saying is this. What we're seeing now, I want to go. It's like this. I want to believe. Remember that PTS thing you talked about?
Mm-hmm.
This is where it comes in. But as a Falcon fan that has seen this record before, he looks at it and goes 5-13, 5-12. Wait, what? How could you say that? They're going to get tired of the bull crap talk. That man is going to drive this man to drinking. They're going to let this guy go. They're going to depend on the rook that tore his knee up. And then they're still not going to be able to get sacks. But they got sacks last 5 weeks. Yeah, that's because their job was on the line. I'm just saying, we don't know because we are looking at a team. And look, this is all from a perspective of PTSD. Right. You're looking from a deal of, you don't know. Is Raheem going to feel fire from this? Is he going to feel embarrassment from this? Or is he going to walk around, ha ha, kiki, rah rah, oh, you can't touch me. Ah, look, I got no dust on me. Look, I'm just saying, I think fans have every right to look at this coach. Now, the GM, this is interesting because, Terry, I was going to be against you 100%, but you look at some of the players we got. I'm not looking at that first year draft with Pitts and Grant and those guys. Those guys, a lot of those are busts. I think Dahlman and Pitts are the only two.
Right.
All right. But the fact of the matter is you drafted okay, not great. I'm not going to give him that. I can't give him great, but I will give him damn good because look what they got. You know, Drake London, dog. Bijan Robinson, look, if he's not here, you know, you had Tyler Algier you got in the 5th, but having Bijan, that's pretty damn awesome too. Now you got Michael Penix. Awesome. Those second-day picks have to hit, though. We're looking at Troy Anderson as injury-prone bust because he's never on the field. As much as he has a great story, damn the story. I need someone that can actually make plays. All right? And then I'm looking at Ebiketie. I'll actually give it to you. He has come along. I've always had an issue of why aren't we using him more? And that's the issue I've been having. So it's like I go back to Ra. Now your job's on the line. Or Jimmy Lake, your job's on the line. Or, we need to reinforce. Oh, let's use Ebiketie. Well, you've had him all year. You see what I'm saying? It's almost like this. Me and Ladarius talked about it. Imagine these 5 weeks in the past 11 weeks. A full effort. This defense would damn near be top 10. I feel it. I really do. If this the pass rush, the way these guys have played hard, they've given the off through the wins and losses. Can we all agree? I don't even remember.
Yeah.
There's only been one game where it felt like a big blowout, and that was Denver. Am I right? I mean, I'm trying to remember. I'm actually asking.
Yeah, you're right.
So
right.
I can actually say, and look, we could point about the Kurt. But I kind of look at it. Does Terry deserve another? I actually think Terry shouldn't be the scapegoat in this. I kind of want to see what Terry has to do, but I think we need to understand it's more of what's next, if you will. Ladarius, what do you say, man? Because I want to hear your opinion on this, please.
I think you're forgetting something.
Yeah, go ahead, buddy.
No. I think you're forgetting something.
Oh, yes.
Music.
Yeet.
Yeah. So once again, C-Dub great, Ron great, Kerry great. Now to get back to my point, that's a nice hat. That's a nice hat, by the way, T-Will. It's a very nice hat.
Thank you, sir.
It was great that that when my music played, your head was down. That's fine. We'll talk about that later. Now,
I think he was bopping. He was like that. Hey.
No. At his age, I don't think that's bobbing. That's just
Wow.
wrestling.
Oh, wow. Now I'm slobbering. Oh, wow. Okay.
Hey, listen, you were the only person that Kerry was listening, C-Dub was listening, Ron was listening. You. So imagine if I was the president and you didn't stand up, I'd have to take you out.
Oh.
Yeah, but I take you
off with his head.
Well, I was going to do that. I was just going to make you not dance again. That was a band, but okay, if you want to do that, that's fine too. I'll be really quick. I'm going to take up all the time here. My whole thing is this. Me personally, I don't think Terry, should be the fall guy because in the reality, here's the thing. I think that Terry has a lot of questions for this, has to solve with this roster in the offseason. And I'll double down and say that signing Kirk Cousins was not a mistake. Because I think I've said this on previous shows where I've said, look at the quarterback market at the time we needed a quarterback. Because here's the reality. Even though Kirk Cousins was 36, even though Kirk Cousins was coming off an Achilles, he was still the best option out there. And whoever, and I assume I'll give Terry the credit because he's the general manager, maybe, but I'll give him let's just say I'll give him the credit for that. Mm-hmm. Now, he was looking great the first 9 games of the season. And then somewhere along the way, he got hurt. I believe it was either during Dallas or it was either New Orleans where he got hurt. And then you saw the downfall take place. Now, there's a reason why I think Penix was drafted for 2 reasons. Obviously to be the future, but also to be the break glass in case of emergency situation. And I felt that's what kind of happened. Because if you look at, and I go back to Kirk Cousins' contract, his contract deal was a 4-year deal under the guise of really a 2-year deal.
Yes.
So Kirk Cousins was never going to be here till he was 40. That was never the plan.
Yeah.
To me, it was 2 years at the most. Because, and I talked about the numbers and stuff like that, about the cap hit, like the March 12th or 13th versus the June 1st. There's a difference in that. And how Terry handled that in the offseason, because I think he should come back, is that if you cut him with the pre-June 1st tag, you're paying $40 million for 2020. You're paying for 2025, and the 40 for 2025, and the remaining the other 24 for 2026. So that could be easier on the situation. But the reality is that I'm not going to fire a general manager when listen, we still have to see how some of his picks go. And more importantly, listen, when he drafted Penix, there was a lot of folks that were upset. But here's the thing. I understood. Listen, and I'm going to say this. Just because you don't like something doesn't necessarily mean you have to disagree with it. Meaning, you didn't have to like the Penix pick, but you don't have to disagree with it because here's the logic. I understood listen, look at this year's quarterback draft class, and we had Kirk Cousins still, and let's just say we had whoever as backup. We would not have been able to get a first round quarterback because we probably would have been in the position to get a first round quarterback. So when you look at Shador, you look at Cam Ward, I know there's a name I'm missing off the top of my head, but the third quarterback.
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
Bo Nix.
This past year.
Of this year's draft class. So you got Shador, Cam Ward, and we don't know about what Quinn Ewers is going to do.
Right.
Or Jackson Dart has like a day 2 grade from what I've seen so far, but it's early in the process. But the point is, I understand why he went with Penix this year, because the reality is he foresaw that, hey, we're not going to be in a position to get a quarterback, and Kirk Cousins is closer to the end of his career than he is to the beginning.
Right. So
for that reason alone, amongst other things, and listen, somebody said in the chat that Matthew Bergeron's a hit because listen, when I did a mock draft, when I was working at Blogging Dirty, listen, and I had Matthew Bergeron coming out of Syracuse because he fit exactly what we needed.
Right.
So he found those gems. I'm not going to sit here and knock Terry. Simply, I said, listen, at the end of the day, it's easier to fire the general manager. No, I can't see a situation. Let Terry fix this because, listen, it's a fixable situation. There's question marks. What's he going to do with Kyle Pitts? What's he going to do with Kirk Cousins? What's he going to do with the roster? If we're assuming with Matthew Judon, let's just say he doesn't come back. Let's just assume. So Terry has shown that he can draft. Let him do his job. Because where fans are upset is that we want to fire everybody. Listen, firing everybody does not always solve the problem.
Right.
How you solve the problem is if you're going to fire somebody, who can you bring? And it's the same issue I had with Raheem. I understand Raheem. It was absolute cheeks in play calling for three of our losses. He was cheeks. I'm not going to sit here. His comments when he said on the radio was absolutely abhorrent. It's like if you need a guy to rally, you get the opposite of what Raheem Morris said.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, this game will show us if the players are still committed to Raheem Morris. That will show, are they still committed to Raheem? Better yet, are they committed to Terry? Because Terry So we're going to learn a lot, and I think it goes to C-Double's point. We got to wait till the last game of the season. We do, because we have to see if the players are behind Raheem, and are the players most importantly behind Terry Fontenot, with whom he drafted. Because at the end of the day, Terry Fontenot is a very good general manager. Don't let what other people listen. He had to basically get like to Keith's point. He had to bargain shop because of the salary cap. Like once you got Kurt, you had to make moves that you couldn't make any more big splashes after that. So I will defend Terry Fontenot in that regard. Like, listen, he foresaw something that this year's quarterback class was not going to be great. And you have Kirk Cousins who would have been entering, like, oh man, we need a quarterback. Well, you weren't going to get Shador, you were going to get Cam Ward. Anybody else after that? Is it really worth the first round grade on it? And the answer is no. So I just give credit for Terry drafting Michael Penix, because either Michael Penix was either gonna. The goal was him to sit out this year, but listen, he was the break glass in case of emergency. That's exactly what happened. because even in the back of Terry's head, like, oh man, he's still 36. And listen, give him all that upfront money. I don't care. I don't care because you know why? It's guaranteed. Let him have it. I don't care because it's really a 2-year deal.
Mhm.
So if Kurt's not going to be here forever, if Kurt worst case scenario happened this season, Michael Penix comes in. Okay, it to me it looks like Terry got it right because guess what? Now there are teams they're going to be looking for quarterbacks in this draft, and simply put, they're going to be SOL. So expect they're going to be SOL at the end of the day. So sorry if I took too long. So back to you, C-Dub.
No, you're not. No, you don't have to be sorry on that one, bro. I think you really hit it on the head.
You did.
We're going to let Kerry also speak on this too.
Sorry
because
for taking up your time, Kerry. I apologize.
So real quick, I want to
Wait,
just.
did you say Terry or Carrie?
I said Kerry.
Yeah, I
No,
said
you're
Kerry.
not taking up my time at all. Honestly, Ladarius, I really agree with pretty much everything you said, and you made some great points. You're not taking my time up at all. And to Keith's point in the chat, I do agree Terry is a great bargain free agent shopper. I'm a big Terry fan. Let Terry cook. I know right now he's not the most popular, person in the world because people are mad because we spent all that money on Kirk, only 14 games. I get it. But we didn't think that was going to happen. And at least he had a backup plan. Imagine if he didn't. So the whole world was laughing at us for doing, doubling up at quarterback. But look, it all worked out for us. So I also want to say, I saw Keith say, did you hear Pitt's comment about Penix's first touchdown pass? And I did see he said that. I did listen to that interview. And remember how Kyle Pitts said, I just work here? He's another one that I don't know if he needs to keep his foot out his mouth between that comment and then now the whole he didn't even know that was Penix's first touchdown pass. People are like, "Oh, I'm not surprised. He just works there." I'm like, "Yeah, you should have told people that. How did you not know that was his first touchdown?" Like, come on, man, you got to beat the allegations.
Miss Carey, I've been trying to get rid of him a long time ago. I mean, that dude right there just.
Yeah. It's one of those. You just want to go, damn it, Kyle.
It's not even that no more. It just somebody just need to walk up to him and just slap that out of him. Shut up.
So violent,
Ron.
The vitriol. Jesus.
So violent, Ron.
Wait a minute, I'm violent because he keep on saying.
You need a hug.
See, that's what's wrong with you now.
No, I hug. I think we're beyond the hugging
why
phase.
You like Raheem Morris.
You need a hug. I'm gonna walk up the aisle and slap the shit out of him.
Hold on. Y'all do know I give this intro to Ron, right?
Lee, man. Jeez.
Yeah.
I see why you like Raheem Morris.
You need a hug, Ron. Damn, you need a hug.
Ron's backstory.
I mean, I get it. A lot of fans are like Ron. They're just tired of being tired. Sick and tired of being sick and tired. I get it. I do, man. I don't know.
I'm tired of the stupid stuff, man.
I get it.
PTSD, though. You gotta understand what demon is talking to you. That's the PTSD.
But T-Will, I agree. That's the PTSD.
Going on here? Jesus.
I agree that's the PTSD, but at the same time, Falcons fans are going to have that until we rewrite our history. We make a change, and I thought that was the season, but sadly, it's not looking like it right now.
It's coming. It's coming.
Here, let me say this for someone that's known as the Falcon hater, but no, it's hilarious. I go to the birdcage, and they were like, "C-Dub, you're trying to get Raheem fired," and I'm like, "Yeah, he's trying to get rid of everybody," and I'm just walked in. And I'm like, he's like, yeah, he was saying that this morning. And I'm just going, and then a few other people finally followed me and they're like, yeah, we're back in C-Double. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm just going to sit back and watch the show.
That means they're watching the list to the show, and we appreciate
it. I just so fed up with this whole year with Kyle Pitts' comments. With Raheem Morris, I fed up with all of it.
Keith.
That's
I bet he doesn't kick it with the team. I'm not for sure about that, but I do know that Kyle Pitts' birthday party this year. I did watch. He posted like a he must have hired like a videographer and a photographer for the party. And of course, I'm over there scoping it out, see which Falcons players are there, just because I like to see the off the field stuff. I don't know if that's a female thing or what, but I did see 2 players there only, and I peeped that. I'm like, how come nobody's there at his birthday party?
They
He
don't
has
like
like an
that
all-white
food.
party. But I did see, I want to say it was Darnell Mooney. I want to say it was Darnell Mooney and Frank Darby. He's very good friends with Frank Darby. I've noticed that. Frank Darby was at his son's birthday party too. But yeah,
it was probably like at a bowling alley and nobody showed up.
Miss Cherry, listen, we don't like that food.
It was at a bowling alley. Where are my friends?
Unfortunately, I don't know. I mean, it could be that they were just not videoed, but I mean, I watched that video like twice, trying to scope out some Falcons players just to see, because I like that kind of stuff. And yeah, I saw Frank Darby. You can't miss him with this big smile. You know how he is. And then I think I saw Mooney there, if I remember right, but that was it.
Too bad Zach Robinson wasn't there, but then he wouldn't notice Kyle Pitts even.
Exactly.
Oh, wow.
Hey, Zach.
Unnecessary roughness. Unnecessary roughness on C-Dub. That was, well, first and foremost, that was a great joke, sir. I've got to give that to you. But still, I got unnecessary 15-yard penalty on C-Dub.
I'm honored to take that penalty, by the way.
What?
No, it's Kyle Pitts was like the scene in Fresh the Belly. Look at the room and nobody's there. There's a birthday cake in the corner and some balloons and nobody else is there.
Kyle Pitts one of those kids. They don't like me like that. Why they not my friends?
That sucks. I'm not trying to start drama, but I did, Keith pointed out a good thing. I bet he doesn't take to a team. Yeah, I peeped that at his birthday, the video he posted. I didn't really see any players there.
I want Stephen A. Smith and Shannon Sharp to put that on first take. Kyle Pitts' birthday, and only 2 people showed up.
It's the most despicable, reprehensible thing I've ever seen. I've been doing sports for 10 years.
Let me explain this stuff.
How long have I been working at this network?
I've been in the NFL for a while.
I am a Hall of Fame tight end. My jacket still fits. It's a little tight around the edges, but the point of the matter is nobody's going. Listen here, Ron. I told you about my jacket. Don't question my jacket. Thank you. I'm a Hall of Fame tight end. And Kyle Pitts, people showed up to my party. But listen, I get it. Listen, John Elway didn't show up to my birthday party either. And that's okay. Because you know what? I helped him get rings and he can get. But anyway, back to you at ESPN. Shannon, you're on ESPN. Back to you in America.
Hold on. And then you see Ron showing up to Kyle Pitts' birthday party. Smack this.
Atlanta PD.
I've been saying, where's the baby powder at? Anybody? Baby powder, please.
In a Metro Atlanta bowling alley today, a Falcons fan attacked tight end Kyle Pitts today while celebrating a birthday party at the bowling alley. Sources say Ron jumped from behind the counter, disguised as down the ball machine, and slapped Kyle Pitts directly on both sides of his face.
Mm-hmm.
The cake have a shirt on that says "For my ATL Sport."
YouTube, if you're listening, these are just jokes. These are just jokes. All right.
Are they?
Oh yeah, if you guys want to stay on the air, yeah, they're jokes. Oh yeah, they are. They're definitely.
Yeah. Wait. I didn't make the joke. First of all, I'm trying to make humor.
I'm talking about Ron. I'm not talking about you, Ladarius. I'm talking about.
Why are you getting T-Will? Why are you getting loud with me? Why are you getting loud?
Oh my God.
Why are you getting loud?
So
unnecessary.
I'm not getting loud with you.
Do you want a birthday party? Do you want me to show up to your birthday party, T-Will?
Yes.
I'll bring some. Hold
on, it's gonna be 55. We gotta all show up for T-Will's.
Wait a minute. I thought it was going to be 95.
We're going to pop and lock and then drop. No, we don't want that.
Look, I'll be the DJ, and we'll have a breakdancing competition.
Ron, for that 95-year-old comment, I'm going to kick your ass even more. Just letting you know it's going down, and I'm not.
Hey, okay. I will have a
leisure shoot now.
I will have a birthday cake that don't break a hip to.
I don't know where this hip comes from. My hip is fine. You'll see.
Listen. Hey, T Will, listen, Shakira's hips don't lie, yours are suspect. Okay, that's all we're saying. That's all we're saying. That's all we're saying. Bro.
It does. It's not even suspect no more.
Oh wow.
Yeah, you know what? You know what? Ron is right. The
Square.
hips have been lying to him. I can
Right.
still move. I don't know. Should we tell him? Nah, he'll figure it out.
All right.
He lifts up that box and it's over.
Pause. Hey, so guys, real quick.
Yeah, go ahead, Terry.
Question for the panel. So I honestly think.
Right, exactly, John. Exactly. It was up to me, it'd be 20 yards. It'd be 20 yards if it were up to me.
If it were up to me, it'd be 85 yards. There you go.
I'm telling you, see, John, he yells at people. He just.
I was not yelling. I was making a
Why
point.
are you yelling at me again, T Will? Lower your voice.
I called a 20-yard penalty on me, damn it, and I don't
You
like
bet
it.
your sweet ass I just did, and I'll call it a 40 if you don't stop being loud. Stop being loud.
Oh my
Carrie
God.
is a
We
guest
love
on
you. I'm
this
so
show,
glad
and
you're
you're just getting penalties. That's not a good look. All right.
Here's my question, guys.
The answer is Singapore. Now, what's your question?
Oh my God. In all seriousness, we take this defense in the next year.
Mm-hmm.
We have the potential to get 50 plus sacks. I understand people can make adjustments, but there's an argument to be made that if we clean up some things, we can be right back here next year. We can win 11 games. We can go into the playoffs, and we can go on a potential run. And the reason why I'm beating the drum of don't fire Raheem is because you only got Tyler Algier and Kyle Pitts to 2026, right? So if you bring in a new coach next year, he's got to be dominant. You leaving? All right, son. Have a good one, man. All right, be safe. If you bring in a new coach, he's got to hit next year, or you're pretty much doing your offense over because you're going to lose two key components. You're not starting Kyle and Algier. You're just not, because you have to re-sign Jesse Bates, right? So you're definitely not signing both of them while you have your weapons here, while we have the current regime here. Let's bring everybody back. Okay. Let's go for a second round. Now, some things that need to happen. Raheem needs a PRT. No. You know what Raheem needs? Raheem needs, what was that show? Raheem needs Olivia Pope. He needs an Olivia Pope. He needs an Olivia Pope that when he's got to give an interview, she just takes over and is like, hey, my brain is crisis. Here we go. Let me interpret what Raheem is saying. I'm being facetious, but I think it would cost us more at this point. When you say fire and get rid of everybody, what you're really saying is bring in a new head coach, a new offensive coordinator, a new defensive coordinator, and let's start over. And you're not necessarily going to have the weapons in 2026 when the new system really kicks in. So you really have to give it thought. Okay, well, when you talk about firing a coach, what does that entail? What's the impact of that? Does that mean we're going to make a playoff run? Not necessarily, because these guys are learning a new scheme, right? The offensive line, learning a new scheme. Defense, learning a new scheme. Quarterback, wide receivers, learning a new scheme. As opposed to, hey, look it, they took all year. They're comfortable in this system now, or they're learning. Let's see if we can't build upon that. Now, you may have to give Raheem some guardrails. You know, you may have to give him some guardrails. I don't know. Maybe you don't feed him after midnight. I don't know what the hell. But to me, it is that was a Gremlins reference.
No, I'm well aware. Thank you for talking down.
Too.
Thank you for talking down to me again, Terry.
I was talking to the crowd because everybody was.
So I'm not part of the crowd. Got it. Continue.
Part of the crowd. I was simply the crowd. Yeah. That was a Gremlins reference. Look it. Bottom line.
Yeah, he looked at me when he said it.
Oh my God. Bottom line. It is probably more expensive from a time commitment and overall product on the field standpoint to fire Raheem and his team and bring in somebody new than it is to just bring him back next year and see where we go. Those are my thoughts, but I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts. So, Miss Carrie, as you are our esteemed guest, give me your thoughts on bringing back Raheem or not bringing back Raheem next year.
Yeah, for me, can you guys hear me good?
Yeah.
Yeah, we hear you. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, cool. Okay, cool. Um, for me, like I alluded to earlier, Raheem is not going anywhere, especially if we win this Panthers game and it's our first winning season since 2017. It's just not happening. He has a previous relationship with Arthur Blank. He got 3 years for Arthur Smith, okay? Which I understand people's argument that Arthur Smith inherited a worse team with no quarterback. Okay, I get that. But I'm just telling you from Arthur Blank's point of view, he's very like Raheem, and it seems as if he's loyal to a fault as well. He's a very loyal person. Falcons as an organization are very about character and not just drafting, but also bringing in guys that are very just have a good character, right? So it reminds me of the same thing that they're very loyal. So I don't see Arthur Blank unless we've only won 2 or 4 games this season. Then okay, maybe. But for me, even though it's likely we missed out on the playoffs, we beat the Panthers and we have the first winning season since 2017, which is still a positive from the last 8 years. I just realistically don't see him going anywhere. And like T. Will said, who are you bringing in? And then that's a reset again. How are you going to just start over again? For me, I want stability at the head coaching position, because then the players got to learn a new scheme again. And it's like, I don't know, like how I'm just curious, like how many defensive coordinators have we had in like the last 3 years? I mean, I know for sure 3 in the last 3, but before that, I mean, how long was Dean Pease here? Maybe 2. So I just feel like we've had no stability, as far as coaching. So for me, yeah, I think Raheem is for sure staying, and he should at least get till next season. But like T. Will has said, in the off season, he needs to take a look in the mirror and he needs to kind of have some humility and realize that you can't just be arrogant or, act like you're the smartest guy in the room. You got to understand your downfalls and find out how to improve on them. Because if you don't admit when you're wrong, then you're never going to fix those mistakes. For me, that's big. This off season, he needs to take a look in the mirror and fix the mistakes, because you cannot bring those same mistakes like clock management. That's a rookie coaching move, and you're not a rookie coach. So for me, he needs to fix that in the off season. Things like that. It's just, and being loyal to a fault, not, making changes at quarterback or kicker sooner or, what have you. So for me, it's very big and it's crucial to the Falcons' success going forward, what Raheem does in the off season. For me, I could see Jimmy Lake not being retained.
Yeah, I could
just
see.
Because for me, I think Raheem also, how I said loyal to a fault, he did himself a disservice by hiring 2 rookie coordinators. He should have maybe one rookie one, but you should have maybe brought in a guy with experience, because you don't want to mess up this opportunity, So that's how I feel. I can see Jimmy Lake not being retained just because I feel like he's been worse out of the 2 between him and Zach Robinson. And like, Ra has alluded to, he's had a hand in the defense since the bye week. And that's when the defense has taken off and, been balling out. So for me, Ra can't be doing that. He needs to focus on being a head coach and not also the defensive play caller or coordinator. So for me, they should go out and maybe find a DC that has experience, and knowledge. And he's been a DC before. So for me, if any change were to happen, I think that's the one that should happen personally.
All right, go ahead, Ron.
Raheem not going nowhere. Arthur Blank, like Miss Carey said, loyalty. Arthur Blank got too much loyalty. And to me, if I'm an Arthur Blank, I'll be like, Raheem, next year you need to hire somebody that just got the baby, baby powder. My bad. When you say something crazy, they slap the out of you. When you go on the radio and you talk like that on the radio, the baby powder man come through, just slap fire out of you. Do you get it now, Raheem?
Wow.
Do you get it now, Raheem?
Wow.
All right, stop. That's getting really weird.
Yeah, slap fire out of him. But yeah,
Yeah, that
he's
is,
not going nowhere.
Wow. Oh my God. Somebody needs a hug.
Ladarius.
I
Hold on.
gotta follow. Oh yeah, hit the music. Thank you.
No.
Terry.
No.
Stop.
Don't pull
Stop.
your hip while
Darius
pregnant.
knows what I'm doing, though.
Hey, Disco Duck, I'm asking you to stop.
Ah, ah.
Jeez. What Ron just did is remind me of Roots, and that just took me back. It was very uncomfortable. Very uncomfortable. Very uncomfortable.
Oh wow.
Very. I love Ron, but it just took me back to LeVar Burton, and it's you know what? No, it's just I like reading Rainbows, and I remember this man was Kunta Kinte, and then I'm like Butterfly, and then I'm hearing the Whips, and it's nightmare. That's nightmare fuel.
Don't forget Star Trek. Don't forget Star Trek.
Yeah, Georgia LaForge. Yeah, thank you for talking down to me for the 4th time in this show.
Oh my God, geez, you didn't bring up Star Trek. I was just going along with what you said. You said reading Rainbow and Roots, right? So I
Listen,
thought.
hey, who are you bobbing your head at? Like
Oh
you got to.
Oh
To
my
be fair, I
Oh,
totally.
God.
Listen,
Jesus.
Prince Petty would have let that go. King Petty
Oh,
cannot. I told you that.
You're right.
Imagine if Emperor Petty can. You'd be screwed. Anyway,
Oh God.
man, this show would be redacted so many times. But anyway,
Oh my. Okay.
Go ahead, brother.
oh, by the way, T. Will, decent dance moves. Now,
Not even
C-Dub,
decent.
Carrie, Ron, and I guess T. Will. Keyword, I guess. I'm still not sure. Here's the thing. I'm a big believer in consistency, and I'm a big believer in continuity. Here's what I mean. I'm not going to sit here and defend Raheem Morris in his comments. I'm not going to defend his some of the coaching decisions he's made. We've all talked about it. We beat it. You know, we beat it down to the point where to the nitty gritty. But here's the thing. I tell people here's my case. Look around the league and listen. There were certain coaches who did terrible their first season, and you keep them. You have to let people have time to put in their stuff to do. To me, it's a 3-year. It's the same thing I say about college head coaches, and to them, and it's a different dynamic because with college, because you add the element of recruiting. So if you fire a coach after, let's say, three seasons, it's like the next thing you know, the next guy's benefiting off the next coach's recruits, and they're great. And all of a sudden, oh my God, the other coach was trash. This guy is great. And I said, and no, but to shift it back here, Raheem Morris, listen, hiring 2 rookie coordinators is something I wouldn't have done. Because understand, he could have brought in a more experienced guy. Listen, offensively, I've jumped up and down and said this. If Jim Caldwell was available, you bring him in the same capacity that the Raiders brought in Norv Turner as a, kind of like an analyst or senior offensive analyst. Because his son, you could listen. You need somebody to understand certain concepts that Raheem he can't understand. And that's why I say he doesn't fully understand sometimes his behavior when he talks to the media. He needs to work on that. And I'm like, T, he's not going to live you. He needs somebody to get in his face and tell him, listen, you can't say that. Mm-hmm. Why are you telling a grown person that? Because listen, here's the reality. We still have grown people today who walk around, who go on social media, and they don't understand that their actions has consequence. They're wondering why you're being called into the office. Yeah, you can't say that. Or you're wondering, why are people upset? Raheem did not understand why fans of this franchise, mostly since the inception of the team itself, feel the way that they do, and even fans who came along later. He doesn't understand what the feeling is. When you basically went on that show, you basically gave a middle finger to the fan base.
Damn right.
It's like you don't care.
He said, "I'm getting paid regardless."
Exactly.
Oh,
He did the old Stone Cold. He did the Stone Cold Steve Austin double bird to the comments.
Literally.
It's like, did this man not hear what the question was asked? He's like, oh, I don't care. What is wrong with you? Like, I'm not gonna go to. I'm not gonna be like Ron and pull a Kunta Kinte, but but the point is, he was very tone deaf. It's like, you gotta read the room, my guy. It's like, why would you say that? Like, you gave you were on national radio. You weren't just on some mom and pop, show out in Tulsa or in, Sheboygan. You were on a nationally radio show, and you basically told a fan, you had the nerve, the audacity, the temerity, with the all-time straightest face, said what you said, and you didn't care.
He said they got the "woe is me" attitude. I was like, wow.
Yeah,
You living
listen,
in the past.
yeah, you see,
said, like, what?
See,
not only did he do the double middle finger Steve Austin style, he even did he did the Rikishi with the shaking there.
Yeah, he did the sting face too. He basically did the sting face.
You're now invited to the wrestling podcast now.
Exactly.
You know some stuff. We see this.
C-Dub, hand her the paperwork and let her come over.
You're in. There's no paperwork. I'll waive that mess.
Well, we need paperwork because for T-Will might have he's not a guy that will sue. So let's do paperwork.
Yeah.
That's why he's not on the wrestling show.
T-Will looks very litigious. So now
Ron's too busy wanting to slap some people.
He was the type of guy that he might file some paperwork like, oh, so just covering our bases. But
He just called me a Karen. Go ahead. I think he did. Where's your manager? Damn it! Go ahead, Ladarius. I'm sorry.
Who sounds? Was that supposed to be an impression of me?
Oh, that was me being a Karen. Stop ribbing him up, Ron. Unnecessary roughness on Ron. Trying to start conflict.
Now you see how it feels now, huh?
God, I never stir stuff up.
Ladarius.
Hey, T-Will.
I do.
T-Will, we're 3 years into the new year and you're already lying. Stop it.
See?
Stop it.
Now, see, that's
Thank
not
you.
nice, Ladarius. That's not nice.
Wait. You gonna sit there and tell me with the all-time straightest face that, oh, that's not nice? You're gonna tell me that.
Yeah, I was imitating myself, right? I was going with the theme of
be yourself, T-Will. Be yourself. People love you the way sometimes. Even me. Sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes. Be yourself.
Kind of guy. That's what I was saying. I was
going. Oh yeah, that's how you acted in the 70s. I forgot you had a bit role. You had
in the 40s.
You had a bit role in the good. No, No. I'll do you one better. He worked with the great Charlie Chaplin. Now the point is,
oh my God.
And it was black and white, so you really couldn't tell. But anyway, that's a whole different conversation. The point is,
Raheem Morris from the top rope.
Exactly. Carrie gets it. See, T-Will, you can learn from Carrie. Now, you can learn from that. Yes, you can. No, there's no if.
I learn from T-Will all the time, to be honest. So
thank you, Carrie.
I know, Carrie, you're being nice, but listen.
Oh my God.
Oh, the hate.
The only thing I learned from T-Will is that patience is a virtue. That's all I've learned. That's all I've learned.
Oh wow.
But anyway.
Wow.
Anyway, to finish the point, Raheem Morris is still, even after all the stuff I just said, he's still going to stick around because here's why. It's not just because Arthur Blank is loyal. It's because we can't expect to fire people. And no matter what business or company you're running, listen, the CEO may not be, he or she may not be great, but you're not going to keep firing them. Because what happens is you have investors, you have other people whose interests are staked into this. So no one's going to invest in your company. They look at the top of your food chain, and it's a different CEO every 6 months to a year. That's not defending their behavior. That's not defending. I'm not talking like nothing illegal. I'm not how they behave as people or how they act. If they can still, if they've shown signs that they are marketable, they can make money for the company, and is even in the most volatile markets, they're still generating revenue. They're going to keep a job. That's my point with Raheem Morris. Raheem Morris may be the most tone deaf person, head coach. He's definitely one of them. He's high on the list. But here's the thing. He's still going to have a job in 2025 because look, Like Carrie said, if we gave Arthur Smith, and then people say, "Oh, Arthur Smith," I'm like, folks, shut up. Arthur Smith was he not a coach? Could he have not tried to bring in a? I'm not going to go down that road. I don't want to go down that road because your job as a head coach is to find the best talent. Arthur Smith, too bad you inherited a terrible roster. Your job was to fix the roster. You had 3 seasons to do it. I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear. Oh well, you're not getting that sorriness from me. Sorry. But to wrap up the point, when you look as a fan base, listen, we don't like what he said. He, like I said, he gave the Steve Austin double middle finger, chugging a couple of cold ones, and hit broken glass music, and he stormed out and he left the interview feeling like the most confident guy in the room. Like he just cut the promo of all promos. He just left. That's what he essentially did.
That's exactly.
But you know what? But here's the thing: that Steve Austin guy, and C-Dub can attest. Listen, look at Steve Austin. He's in a lot of people's Mount Rushmore. He makes, and I said he was anti. So the point is, Raheem's gonna stay. Will he have to make changes to that staff? Yes. And like I say, a high guy on that list is probably Jimmy Lake. Maybe some other coaches as well. But I'm not going to sit here and say, "Oh, let's fire a guy," because if you fire a guy, tell me who can you hire that's going to fix whatever Raheem couldn't do in one season? Because because what happens is you fire a coach after one season, you're marketing. Listen, candidates don't want to come to that job because they don't feel safe. I say, why do you think people at companies, potential candidates look at that like, man, this person stayed along for this long, but man, they got rid of him after a certain amount of time. Maybe I'm not going to be. Yes.
I want to say to your point, to back that up, that's a great point about why would they want to come to your team, your franchise, when they see you get fired after one season, they give up on you after one season. Ben Johnson, he's the hot head coaching candidate that they'll tell you that's who they want to replace Raheem with. That's the OC of the Lions. And he did a interview saying the exact same thing you're saying, that I'd rather stay. He stayed with the Lions as the OC this past season because he said the turnover at head coach is insane. He said, I'd rather stay here where I like being the OC for the Lions. And I want to make sure my next, franchise I go to and I take that promotion to the head coach, I want to make sure I believe in the owner. I believe in the GM. I believe in their plan, and I believe that that's the right fit, and I'm not just going to be, let go after one season. So that's completely right to your point, because they don't want to just go somewhere where they feel like their job is not secure.
Yeah. And so, and then to put a button on it, it's simply like this. I understand if as a fan base, you're angry, but here's the reality. There's people you work with right now that's your boss. They're going to be your boss for a while. Nobody says you have to like them. They could be the biggest tool you've ever met in your life. They could be literally just like the movie Horrible Bosses. Okay? They could be that way to you. But here's the thing.
I love that movie.
So I don't condone the plot, but the title's fine. But because listen, I'm like T. Well, listen, as someone with a criminal justice degree, I understand the law enough to know we're not doing that. No. Because clearly we're all getting time. Now we're all getting time. Someone give T. Will his medicine. Is he all right? This man's
I wanted to crack a joke from the movie, but that's not. I'm not gonna.
Yeah, you see, I had one too, and I said,
"Oh my god,
let's keep the show on another 10 years, and then we'll make the joke."
I just don't want someone to take my stapler, or what happened.
Yeah. Excuse me, that's my stapler.
Hey, T. Will, we will take this defense into Sunday and hope and pray that the Saints beat the Bucks. Hell no, I do not pray for the Saints. I'm sorry, I'm not on that boat.
You know what?
Good point.
Wow.
Reset.
Wow.
It's a 3-year turnaround. Hold on.
What?
So Ron is too loyal, or is too much loyalty a bad thing? At what point do we establish some sort of consistency with the team? Can we invite Nia Snacks over to Raheem Morris's house to let her eat his snacks and see if that changes his attitude?
Come on, Joe.
You got to do that to Nia. Nia Jax is is a very wonderful woman.
She's a beautiful woman.
Yeah,
Beautiful woman.
The only person I say the Falcons can hire is Nick Saban. Call up Nick.
Oh, wow.
Back up the Brinks truck to Saban's house. Hail Saban! Ladarius, what else about us hiring Nick Saban? All right. Ladarius, I'll let you answer that, and then I'll go ahead and jump in on this myself.
Look,
Yeah.
the short answer is no.
Okay.
Because here's
No
why.
Pat McAfee with him?
Listen, if it's a package, I'll take certain packages. That's one package I'll sign and send back. But here's why. Nick Saban wasn't terrible when he came to with the Miami Dolphins. He was not terrible. Let's be clear. He was not terrible as the head coach of the Miami Dolphins. It was just a different world for Nick Saban because when he came from college, he was used to having all this control. And when you're used to somebody having this control, and then all of a sudden you go to the NFL where you're really not in control of only so much. Like even sometimes your personnel decisions, you're not really in control of. Unless you're like Chip Kelly, who demanded it when he came in from college, from Oregon, when he went over to, I believe it was the 49ers. And then he went to the Eagles, then he wanted all this, he wanted his personnel control. Nick Saban is doing just fine where he is. He has nothing else to prove. It's the same thing where I say it's the same reason why you won't see Bill Cowher coaching on the sidelines. You won't see Tony Dungy. Listen, they're Hall of Fame coaches. Today's NFL is not what it was when they coached. And they understand it. That's why you're seeing a lot of these coaches now retiring, like from college basketball, like the head coach of the University of Miami basketball. He stepped down because of NIL and different things are going on. While I like Nick Saban, I love Nick Saban, but given his age and given he's making a lot of money at ESPN right now, I think if he wants to coach again, he would coach it in college because I feel that maybe I got a couple of years left in me. And in the NFL, it's all about rebuilding. It's all about, like we talked about the 3-year plan. Do you really want to do? We'll see what Belichick does with North Carolina. And Bill Belichick is 71 years old. And he may not last. He may just be there 1 year because he may get tired. I'm tired of these kids and get out of there. So like I say, I'm not against the idea, John. But if I was Nick Saban, you're you're arguably the greatest head coach in college football.
Yeah.
You didn't do terrible in the NFL, but I just think that the headache is not worth what it was when he did do it, about 20 years ago.
Yeah. I think when it comes to Nick Saban, if he wants to do it, it's going to be under his terms, though.
Yes.
That's something I will say. Now let's answer this question, guys, because everyone here has been around the horn base said, "Let's keep him," or "They're gonna keep him." No, not C double. No, we don't play this game. Here's why. So Morris was the youngest head coach in Tampa Bay history, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. His big season was a 10-6 record, followed up by a 4-12 season. Got fired. Now, here's my problem. Expectations. This man walked in like Vincent Kennedy McMahon, strutting his stuff, getting out there, talking his ish. You heard him with Ryan Clark. Oh, I'm going to believe in these guys. Yeah. 11 sacks, or no, 10 sacks before our bye. Look how much I believe in them. And then, oh, crap, I look bad. Jimmy, move over. Let me show you how it's done. Now, remember, you're doing this. And then, oh, we're a phenomenon on defense. But we keep losing. And then the comments. Here's the thing. I don't have a problem with getting close to the playoffs. I don't have a problem with 8 games after you've had 7 games in consecutive order. What I have a problem is when I hear a guy keep beating his chest about how great this team is going to be, and if he was on this team if they had a better quarterback, he wouldn't be here. Oh, well, now you got your quarterback, you got your coaches, and then he goes hiding that no one wants to talk about in the preseason. And then we all find out, well, if you saw Mike Penix throwing that ball compared to Kirk Cousins, you'd be like, why is the young kid not playing? So now we understand that. And then he's so cocky. He thinks the song's written about him. But he's so cocky. He decides to, well, I was going to say he ain't bragging unless anyway, I can't
Oh
say
yeah,
it.
yeah. Okay, sorry about that. Sorry about that. I misread the room. I misread the room.
I like cocky better because it's just especially when we were going on the Stone Cold trip too.
Yeah, you're like we all like roosters here, so
Yeah. But yeah, Kid Rock, that's just the way it is, man. So what got me through some of my adulthood. So anyway,
we'll be right back.
Yeah, I know. Oh well, but no, for real, I really look at what he kept saying. We were a quarterback away. You went and got Kirk Cousins. And then you got your guys in. Now, I'm all for getting your people in who you trust. I get that. You never brought in anybody that can help we heard rumors of how we had, what's his name? Steve Wilkes always around.
Right.
Well, why couldn't we bring him in as a consultant and just have him, just as an extra ear to hear, maybe guidance.
Right.
I would have and I said this, get me some guys that are experienced, and then you have the young guys learn under them, and then you bring them up after a year or two. You would have still been taking care of your guys. But anyway, that's water under the bridge. But then the press conferences got more combative.
Mm-hmm.
And then this past radio interview. And I'm going to say it like this. I need to see how these football players show up for this game. This is my doubling up portion on this one. I need to see how Grady Jarrett, Jesse Bates, AJ Terrell. Look, let's be real. AJ Terrell had a hell of a game on primetime, shutting down Terry McLaurin. Terry doesn't get shut down often, does he, Ladarius?
No. To your point, and it's amazing. They talked about how he was targeted, and the way AJ Terrell. You didn't hear Terry McLaurin's name a lot on Sunday night, and it wasn't because Terry McLaurin's not great, but it's just that if you don't hear a receiver's name a lot, that means the person defending him did a pretty good job.
Oh yes, and AJ was everywhere. Ron, this is a game where you couldn't even say anything bad about AJ. He played. Right.
He played a good game.
Or it's like this. He literally cut away most of the offense for the Commodores, as you might call
it. He took one side off the field.
Yeah.
What a good corner supposed to do.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. You took that effort.
Right.
And then you look at Grady. Look, whatever you want to say, look at Ellis. You can look at, Ebiketie. These guys were making plays. Even, Judon.
Right.
And at the point when it comes down, they gave you 30 plus seconds to drive the field. With that kid's arm, I know he ain't gonna look. Am I saying Penix was gonna drive us like Joe Montana? No. But what I'm saying is he was going. You could tell he had some points he wanted to go, but he could push the ball down the field. And you couldn't call timeouts. That's what it gets. It still eats at me. And look, I'm just a 47-year-old man that watches football, fan of the Falcons, that I've seen crazy crap before. And I know Raheem doesn't care about that. But my thing is this. That game, last night's game, it hurt me to watch. I can't imagine being on that sideline. I can imagine being on the sideline cussing at somebody about the Super Bowl. I couldn't imagine being there in that game, looking at Raheem. Or if I heard, what did he say? We need to be faster. Mother F, you had 2 timeouts.
Right.
Why don't you just throw us under the bus? And look, So this is how I'm going to answer this question. Let's see. I know Arthur. It's like this. If we had to go through like what do you know and what you don't know, we know Arthur Blanks is loyal. Let's be honest, he is.
Mm-hmm.
But what is Arthur Blanks about also?
Winning.
Winning, but whoa, hold on. Don't embarrass the city.
Mm-hmm.
And don't make the fans look bad. You're talking about fans that have been suffering, and you're coming off as I don't care. What's the one you want to know what made Dan Campbell so much that people love him so much? Not that he's crazy, because he is, but also. Oh, go ahead, Ladarius.
Oh no, go ahead. I'm sorry, Ron. I think Ron.
Dan Campbell brought in this energy like I'm going to fight with my players. Instead of
close, you're close. But go ahead. I want to.
He brought in the energy that we're going to battle together. That we from the city. We never had nothing mentality, and we finna show y'all. We finna take it there.
You're close. You're close. Ladarius, what you got? I want to hear what you think before I tell you what I.
What made Dan Campbell believe in me was two things. Dan Campbell played in Detroit. He understands those fans' heartache. He was on. In fact, I think he was on that team when they went 0-16 or one of those war bats. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but he was able to go into his press conference and basically, and he didn't say these words. He said, "Fans, I understand what you went through. As your head coach, I vow to you, I will have this team play every down, every play, every quarter, as if it means something. We will not lose. We will no longer be the laughingstock of the National Football League anymore because I played in this city. I played for this team. And I knew what it felt like as a player that I disappointed the fans. As your head coach, I will not disappoint you. I will be honest with you. I will be transparent with you. But more importantly, I promise you that you give me the time, I will make sure that this team will forget being the best team in the league. We're going to be a team that we're going to play hard.
Yeah.
Because you, the fans, deserve better than what you've been getting. And by doing that, Dan Campbell never threw the previous regime under the bus.
Right.
Dan Campbell put his plan forward because he played for that team. He understood to be on those terrible teams. And those fans, and when he spoke to the fans about like biting kneecaps, was it hilarious? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But what he was basically saying is, listen, we're going to go after it. And now you're seeing them on Sunday night potentially going in as the number one seed in the NFC.
Yeah.
And potentially, and listen, and they're the Super Bowl favorite over the two-time defending Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs. There's a reason for that. Despite all the injuries they've gone through, people still think they can make their way to New Orleans. I'm sorry, I spoke too long. Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. No, I was actually trying to get the dog upstairs. All right. That is exactly what Dan Campbell did.
Yeah, and like Ron said some things that were on point as well. So I want to make that clear.
You guys hit the nail. And what I want to say is this. He never threw the team under the bus. He never gave lofty expectations. He never said, oh, if I was here, this would happen. No. He just said, with me here, we're going to do everything in our power. Every down matters. Every play. Look at the defense. We want to talk about defense and injuries. Detroit Lions, I don't even know how they're playing defense.
Right.
All right. That's a testament to Dan Campbell. If that man doesn't win Coach of the Year, I don't know who should. I love Kevin O'Connell, but I mean, Dan Campbell's done amazing.
I think Sunday night's game will have a huge role in who wins Coach of the Year.
Oh yeah. And look. Oh, go ahead, Ron.
I think when we gonna have a head coach that just like that, to bring that energy, they'd be like, you know what? I understand the Falcons fans. We had not did this, we had not did that. I understand it. When in the off season, I pray to God somebody tell Raheem, look, think about your job, think about your fans, think about what everybody been through for the last 80 years or something like that with the team.
Yeah. Well, this is where I'm going to go. This is why, and this comment by John is the exact same reason I'm saying. Look at this Raheem was a failure the first time around. Now it's a second time. I don't want a third. And
Right?
I'm going to go here. I don't trust him. When you do what you have done, I don't trust you. If he comes back, you can sign Miles Garrett. You can get Jalen Ramsey. You could get everybody and their mama, and then I'd still be looking at you going, we're gonna finish 4-12, 4-13? I mean, because I will not trust our leadership, and that's how I feel with Raheem. And then John also throws this nice little Arthur Blank is a senile man to be in I don't. John, I really don't want to go there with him because here's the thing. I have noticed his son being around him a lot more. And me and Ladarius have talked about it. I know, Ron, I've talked to you about it.
Yeah.
I think he's setting up that he wants his kid to take over. And I want to know what this kid's thinking, too, because here's the thing. If Raheem cannot accept accountability this year, what makes you think he's going to accept it next year?
Right.
That is my problem. We talk about leader of men. Well, leader of men is about being accountable. And when times are hard, you have to stand the fire, not argue with radio stations. And I get everybody saying consistency. My problem is, or here's my question to you. Do you want to be consistent with guys that are making mistakes like this? Or do you want to be able to look at it and, yeah, I get it. It is a gamble. But at this point, we've gambled enough. And that's why I asked, what was our expectation? Was our expectations 9 wins? Was it 10 wins? Or was it make the playoffs? Well, if you make the playoffs, did we make the playoffs? No, we didn't.
No.
We were at 6-3. And we had everything at our grasp. And now, here we are, week 18. We have fans saying, well, let's pray that the Saints will win and then beat the Panthers. And it's like, no. That's why I tell people, I'm not rooting for the Saints. I'm not going to root. I'm just going to look at it and go, I'm watching my game. And if they win, good. If not, if the Saints win and we win, I'm going to go, okay. I'm not picking us to go deep. Because you know who we going against, right? If we do go in the playoffs, right?
Detroit or Minnesota. One there.
You really want to go there? You know they coming. We've already played Minnesota.
Right. And we played Detroit, last year?
Yeah. So, look, we have a chance to get in the playoffs. I get it. And do you want to play? Look, you play to win the games every game, I would hope. Unless you're trying to tank and you know what? There's no tanking. I saw the Giants blow out the freaking Colts.
Yeah.
They had the number 1 pick overall in lock. Yeah. So I can't even say that anymore. So, guys, let's just wrap this up. I know we've been up for a long point, and I apologize. So, we will be back on Monday at 10 o'clock. Check us out. We're going to be doing 2-hour shows, and we're going to be I guess we're going to be compete with First Take, but I mean on YouTube. So we got a heads up there because more people rather be on YouTube than be on First Take. Plus, so we got Ladarius, and he's got that awesome music now. He's got this big bad boy gonna have to work on. We're gonna have to do some stuff to that, man. We're gonna make it look good. We're gonna that, or we could just. I'm gonna see if I could steal the what you call it, oboe one, just for the heck of it, because you deserve it, my man. Oh, you're on mute, brother.
And let's recap Terry's music. No, we'll just use Doink the. We'll use Doink the Clown's music. That's what we'll use.
Oh, now, you know what? I think I have that still on one of my things.
Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 10 a.m.
Monday,
Terry
Wednesday,
Wilson,
Thursday, and
aka T Will, it would like to remind y'all Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 10 a.m. for my ATL Sports 1, and then also on the Beard Gang or the C28. Yes, we will be there. And yep. I just
no. Terry, Beard Gang is two separate words.
Well, actually, not just that, but it's also on C28 on.
Yeah.
See, Terry. See, you missed him already.
No, but yeah, we'll get it all worked out. Don't worry, we got you, brother. It's all good.
Know what? In the words of Alanis, In the words of Alanis Morissette, you ought to know. You ought to know.
Iranian. Anyway, so I gotta watch SmackDown. How's that blue Matt look on TV? Because I saw
it looks good. Oh, by the way, spoiler: a certain person cast in a certain thing. That's all.
Yeah.
Did she get the belt?
Yeah.
A certain person cast in a certain thing in one.
And
hold on. But Chelsea's safe.
Yes.
Thank God. I'm about to.
You know what, Terry? It's like 10,000 spoons when all you don't need is a Terry. You're right.
So awesome. I'm glad that happened. And then I know something else happened with Kevin Owens and Drew McIntyre, so that's kind of cool. I'll be watching that later tomorrow. So hold on. Let's see what. Wow. Hold on. Let's play that Terry music. Hit it.
Terry Wilson, go yourself. We're not calling you T. Will. The only
music.
For the record, the only Wilson I prefer Wilson Phillips over Terry Wilson. So that's
I understand that.
And that's something you can hold on to that.
We just had Ron straight up wanting to whip a man.
Yeah. I mean, when he was doing that, I'm like, whoa. I'm like, I mean, that was in Roots. Like, whoa, can we do that? Can we do that?
I was like, he brought his own sound effects, and I'm just going.
I mean, clearly, the butterflies were not in the sky.
I get tired of all the stuff we went through this season, man.
Did they have baby powder back then? Yeah, I think they did. It wasn't called baby powder. It's probably called talcum powder, but I guess it's the same thing. I don't know.
All right. Also, Saturday we got 2 games. It's actually going to be pretty interesting because it's the Browns and the Ravens, and the Steelers and the Bengals
and
Saturday.
The Bengals, yeah. Because I got 2 preview. I already have the preview for the Browns Ravens game out. I'm putting out the Bengals Steelers game out. Probably after the show, it'll be out. So yeah, a lot of intriguing stuff. So basically, outside of Cleveland, everybody else, everyone's playing for the playoffs, essentially.
Yeah,
and specifically between Pittsburgh and Baltimore. Baltimore winning, they're in essentially, and they're locked into the 3 seed. So whoever wins the NFC. The AFC North is essentially locked into the 3 seed. It feels more or less, depending if it's Baltimore, then it's definitely locked into the 3 seed. But the Chiefs won, and Bills with the 2 seed.
Awesome. All right, guys, let's plug what we're a part of, and let's see. T Will
over here boogieing. Hey, did you pop, lock? Did you drop? That's the important question.
I know one thing. He hit. It got locked up.
We're not talking about Akon locked up. Just his joints are locking up. We like to clear that up here.
What?
No one got injured in their lock and pop and drop sessions.
But the way T. Will was dressed the other day, it was like, yeah, I'm thinking he's going to do some evil. So I don't know.
Man,
I don't
he was
know.
walking around. Cam, I can tell you it's Cam.
He looked like The Rock did without the fanny pack. No more. Come on.
I'm just laughing at that part.
Yeah, come on. What did Nia
I
do?
just have this visual of T. Will showing up, and it's like he's got the fanny pack on, he's got the vibrant stuff on,
Yeah.
and the
Thank
nacho
you
cheese.
to
No more
wrestling
nights.
guys.
Oh my God, John!
John, she just. It hasn't been 10 minutes, John.
What?
I feel like you have this hate towards Nia Jax. I mean,
let the cement dry first. Jesus.
But
it's like in the movie Life. It's like in the movie Life. I said, well, Winston Hancock. He's like, the man ain't been dead, but you already in his pockets. That's essentially what John is doing tonight. Nia Jax ain't been chained for 10 minutes. You already talking about Nia Snack again.
But appreciate it.
She did. Okay, so she did cash in on Nia.
Okay.
Yeah. Bianca Belair did her move, and then Come on.
I'm sorry. I just got tired. I just was seeing her do the best moonsault ever.
Yeah.
All right.
That moonsault is pretty. It's a pretty moonsault. Thank you, the Nia Snack.
All right. Where did Ron go? I was about to.
Oh, he was waving. He was saying bye.
We'll see you, Ron. All right. Well, guys, to follow Ladarius, tell him where you're at.
You can follow me on Twitter and TikTok at Ladarius_Brown. Instagram, Ladarius_Brown, writer-editor for Beyond Women's Sports. I had a piece come out today talk about Simone Biles being the Sports Illustrated Sport Person of the Year. So if you get a chance, it's on my Twitter, it's on my X, so check that out. Like I mentioned, the both previews for the Saturday games between the Browns and the Ravens and the Bengals and the Steelers are out. The first game is out. The Browns and the Ravens game is already out, and the Steelers and Bengals game will be out probably after the show. So once again, thank you to all who's been here in the chat. You all are amazing. Thank you to C-Dub, Carrie for showing up, Ron, and I guess T. Will, because he seems very like a guy that will sue if you don't mention his name. And so just a great show overall.
Yeah. And you know what? I want to thank everybody. We went ahead and did this so we can do the show, and we really appreciate y'all. And want to thank T. Will. Want to thank Carrie. Want to thank Ron and Carrie. I hope you come back again. It was great to have you a part of the team. Love to pick your brain about wrestling and more football stuff. I mean, it ain't over. So we'll talk more about it and just see where we go. And what the heck is this? Okay, I'll have to look this up later. The video he just posted. So anyway, but yeah, I mean, we just want to thank everybody for hanging and banging with us. Let's see, we got Christy. Love the Friday night shenanigans. That should have called it that. Miss Terry. I just said
Terry. Can you let us close the show? Listen here, bellied sir.
Well, that's what the video is. I was wondering. Okay. But it's not. But anyway, boy, you just said Miss Carrie to belly dancing.
Right. It's like, listen here, Belle, Biv, and DeVoe. Calm down. Jesus.
I mean, unless he's going to start singing, that girl is poison.
Listen, he's going to never dress the big. Oh!
All right. So, yeah, I am a narcissist. You know what? Yeah. Now we need to put Terry's head on Lex Luger's body when he came out as the narcissist.
Yes. Hey, T. Will.
How Terry looks at himself in the mirror.
Yeah. And then get me with the crown that calls me king. Listen, I might get elected Emperor Petty. You keep messing around, Terry. Listen, you thought King Petty was bad? Look, Emperor Petty ain't cutting you nothing. Nothing.
We hate.
You breathe the wrong way. What did you say? It's gonna be over.
I felt your nostrils flaring. What are you
Get that hair out your nostrils, boy.
You thought Ron was tough on somebody.
Boy, we apologize to LeVar Burton if you're watching. Listen, Ron does not speak for all of us. We hope you love the show. I mean, we love you guys. And look, listen, just if you watch Roots, if you think of that part of the movie, just hey, we're sorry. Great miniseries you can learn a lot about. But if you know
Ron, if you know Ron quotes a lot of Ron does quote a lot of Roots. I mean, the man keeps it real. So
is that a good thing? Because I don't know how to feel. Huh?
Yeah, I don't either. I love you. Yeah, we do. You know what? One time, you're speaking, I'm just gonna be in the background. And I'm gonna just holler real loud. I love you, Solo. I love you, Ladarius.
You know what? Jacob, I'll get the call the Uber. I'll be there in like 5 minutes. Now.
Hold on. I think I got. Oh yeah, I'm like, I got the Ula follow right here. I'll just the whole time. Like he does. I love you.
Now, if you'll excuse, we love you, Golden Corral. Wait, what? We love your prices.
Jacob Fatu is going to be the best pitchman ever. Yeah. You're Jacob Fatu. I love you. Of course, the double bird.
Double birds.
Hey, man.
The bird was always the word with Stone Cold Steve Austin. The birds were always the word.
Never go at Jacob. Look, if you saw Jacob Fatu coming at you, you go the other way. That's all I got to say. He's got that kind of look.
Where you going? I was actually going the other way, so I'll just walk around.
I'm just go to the locker room right there, but I'm going to take the long way around.
Yeah, it feels like a good, I'm breathing great. So yeah, it's gonna be great. Why did you do that to him? Do you see that man?
Dude, don't let him punk you out. You see that Jacob Fatu? I ain't getting murdered for you.
Listen, I've seen Lifetime. That guy will take me out.
All right. Well, to follow us, follow me at CW28 on YouTube, CWAWTNA or AWTN. I said AWTNA. And then check us out. And then also, y'all look up Ladarius stuff, especially Beyond Women's Sports, his articles. He does a great job. Go to his Instagram, where you can actually go to your link it when you have all your links there, right?
Yeah, you can go. It's on my Twitter. If you go to my Twitter page,
Okay.
It's right there. It's the link tree, and it's also on Instagram as well. So yeah, it's on all the forms of social media. My link tree.
Yeah, you are a fabulous writer, and I love your insight, especially with
Thank
wrestling.
you.
So I can't wait to do another year with you, because man, our season's about to pick up. You know that, right?
Oh yeah.
We got Netflix.
Yeah.
And I got to watch that SmackDown, because apparently Paul Heyman kind of upped the ante a little.
Yeah, he did. It's like Paul Heyman didn't want to go through the metal detector. I'm like, he ain't wrong. That's security, right? No, he's Paul Heyman. He's fine. He goes, what about Arn Anderson? Arn, why don't you just step through the machine? Why?
You definitely need to do that with Arn. We know why. You put the gun on it.
Because when he was there with Cody, I'm like, wait, Arn's there? Listen. Oh my God, Arn, no.
Arn's got a gun.
And then they play the Four Horsemen music. Wait, who gave him a horse?
You know what? I would not mind if Arn had a horse.
Yeah, who gave him the horse? It was clearly in the budget. Listen, we had, listen, Giovanni.
I couldn't get Pyro? You crazy? That's stupid. But a horse.
You see Giovanni Vinci? Look, we made a decision, and listen, you were going to fight tonight, but then we're like, Orange got a horse. And it's like, oh, by the way, Giovanni, we cut your salary in half. Nothing to do with the horse. So it has everything to do with the horse.
You are worth every bit of penny that Giovanni Vinci made.
And the horse kicks him. You hoard, and the horse kicks him. And then they play the music. They play the horse coming.
They even play video music, and the horse comes out.
You can't beat an animal. You can't beat anybody. It's not good. Oh, by the way, you got to fight a kangaroo next week. So good luck with that.
Oh man, hey, look, the way AEW is going, they may do that now. But hey, at least you could cope.
The main event: Nunzio versus the kangaroo. Wait, what? No.
And yes, folks, we are excited, but not for AEW.
You're telling me the kangaroo beat John Moxley and Will Ospreay? I need to see the tape. Oh, he scoop. How did he schoolboy pit? He doesn't have the. You know what? Who did Nunzio beat? Oh, he had a first round bye. This is not the college football playoff. How did he have a?
Look, if you all saw Nunzio, you would see that man was in such great shape. It made Adam Cole cry.
Cole, I wish I could be you. Wait.
And Nunzio looks at him. Kind of are, man. You kind of look like my son. Shawn Michaels. Can someone tell this guy to leave? This little skinny twerp. He says he's an AEW wrestler, but I don't believe it.
I don't know.
Sean, I'm Adam Cole. Sure you are, kid.
Sure. If you were Adam Cole, what did I tell you 5 years ago? At that time, we went down to Daytona. You told me my dreams. Liar. I told you, hand me another one of that stuff, pal. That's what I told you.
Now, and I have my eyes on you. Which one? Both.
But they're looking at different. That's right, pal. I'm everywhere.
Right now, the other eye is looking at Tatum Paxley and Gigi Dolan.
Now, excuse me. That C-double in there, I got to go help those guys out. Yeah, so then I said, yeah, this guy named T-Will, yeah, he's very bald. He still thinks he can dance. I know.
He thinks he's the breakdancing champion. We have to talk to him about that.
Listen, this man came on camera. He chose necklace wear over a shirt. And listen, I would say he's like Lex Luger, but are you going to ride the Terry Express? Because the Lex Luger Express sounds a little bit more interesting. That's all I'm saying.
The Lex Express sounds more inviting.
Exactly. The Terry Express sounds like you need to have a written note. It's a prairie schooner. It's a wagon.
It's the Oregon Trail.
Wait. Died of sepsis. What is bad water?
Family had a family plague. Oh God! Taco meat and platinum chains, baby.
Man, you know what? I think we should pair him up with let's see, who we pair him up with. You know what? Daniel Garcia feels right.
Oh yeah, because you know how Daniel Garcia used to do that dancing gimmick. Terry and him could get along.
And coming out with Terry,
Terry can be his new Nana.
Oh yeah. But listen, do we really want to see a shirt? Do we need to see a shirtless Terry? Is it worth our vision? It's not.
If Tony Khan's
taco meat and platinum chain. No, Terry, that sounds like something. That sounds like a movie you did in the 70s. And I don't mean a comedy. And I don't mean a comedy. See, let's just say your rating had this. Let's just say your rating had the same number of letters 3 times in a row. That's all we're gonna say.
Let's just say this: NXT Women's Division might be interested in it, though.
And we'll get Nia Jax. Yeah, secrets out, pal.
Yeah. You know, oh man. And by the way, Jordan Grace, please come to WWE. Scott D'Amore's now there.
Listen, we saw what they did to you. Yeah. We saw the chin. I meant Tessa Blanchard was there.
Stevie Wonder saw that chin.
I know. You know what's funny? And this is wrong to say, but they showed this. I think Lady Gaga was pouring on stage, and then they showed Stevie pointing to. I'm like, whoa, and then it was like not. It was like she was pointing, and then he was pointing. I'm like, wait, how did he? How? I'm like, you know what, Stevie? Listen, that 6th sense kicks in. Hey, I get it.
Or someone next going, point exactly where your hand is.
Got it. No, okay. This is not going to work out. Oh yeah, Terry. Who?
Well, would have been better if he pointed and the person moved the arm. That would have been better.
But Terry, let me know when the band plays because even though it's a movie, Terry. And listen, even I heard then, Terry, that you still had an issue of getting across the goal line. But I'm just saying you came up short in big moments now, or big and short moments. Either way, it's terrible. TK doesn't love Adam Cole, baby, the way Jake. Yeah,
he loves the way Jacob loves so.
It's like this,
man.
Get you someone who loves Solo the way that Jacob Fatu. You'll never be alone. You'll never.
No, and not only that,
I'm watching him now. And he's just staring at Solo. I'm like,
and then not just that, but stares at timeouts like Raheem does. We play on leap year every other Tuesday.
Yeah, what's that one song you play? Oh, my back hurts, baby. Get the cream and rub it all over my head. Don't forget that I'm in love with you, even though I smell you. And getting up ain't happening, and nothing else is getting up either. And then she left and told me,
"All right, guys,"
I've seen better. No.
All right, guys, we appreciate y'all going through our delirious states. We appreciate you. See us Monday, 10 o'clock. We're going to be talking Falcons wrap up, and we're going to go from there. We got the top song, Baby Get the Ben Gay, and the smell of aspartame. And I'm C-Double, and I'm out.
Then his